Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Irrelevant Podcast. It's been a little while. I had 2 brutal weeks of work and just other things here and there. I'm sure Jason was busy too. I really don't know.
I was actually
Work
really fucking busy. It worked out.
right. I mean, yeah, like legitimately, I don't know like how busy it gets at the guitar store, but I just can imagine like, all right, he's got to have times where it's pretty rough because all jobs have times where it's pretty rough.
Phew, tell you what, man.
But yeah, wait, what?
Nothing. Yeah, it was pretty busy, but then also just stuff outside of work was busy too. So I think it was a good break. I think.
Yeah, me too, man. Cause um, our delivery man got sick, and his service is so important. Like without him, literally, like the jobs are like completely different. Because he literally sleeps 4 hours a night, probably. Like he gets out on the road at like 2 a.m. and then and starts doing deliveries. So like he can get stuff to job sites like really, really early. And so that's why like he's so important to the company. And he got sick, and then we're all like, "Fuck, what do we do?" And they're like, "Well," so
Yeah, it always
yeah,
sucks when your job relies on one dude to do a very important task.
right. Well, right, no, because the problem is yeah, because we rely on him because no one else is gonna do it, and obviously I am the second in line, so they're obviously gonna touch like they're gonna get me to do it. Um, I mean, it wasn't like all bad though. I mean, obviously waking up before the ass crack of dawn was pretty hard. Um, especially like just every day, just having to tell myself like, all right, only 4 more days. Like, oh, okay, almost only 3 more days. Okay, only 2 more days. It's just getting going. But like, I had so much time where I was just driving. So I'm getting more ideas for you know my entrepreneurship. Um, so I don't know if there are any Philion fans, but that's just that's how he's who would say the word.
I forgot you were doing
um,
that.
right, yeah. I'll mention that probably later in the podcast, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I just had so much time to listen to so much more music, and I kept losing motivation. Like, is this idea worth it? Like, I don't know if I want to open this place, but then I heard a new song, and I was like, oh, that goes so well with this thing and that. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I just listened to a ton of more music, and I even listened to this album multiple times. On the road. So yeah, today the album we're talking about is From Mars to Sirius by Gojira. I had listened to this album on a walk home from the guitar store. I don't even think I listened to the whole thing, and I remember I just didn't really like it. It didn't resonate with me, but that completely changed this time. And I know I'm like a sucker for everything, and it seems like I just love everything. But I mean, this fucking album really hit, really, really hit.
Good.
I love right. Oh wait, what were you gonna say?
No, it was just not good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, man, this is contesting with L'Enfant Sauvage for best Gojira out of the ones I've heard, because a big reason why I really, really liked this album is because it never really stopped. Like I think um Magma, and to like a lesser extent L'Enfant Sauvage, they kind of peter out towards the end.
Yeah.
And, and like the last like 3 or 4 songs are like kind of forgettable. But this, all of the songs like I thought were excellent. Like like a lot of them I thought were like literally masterpieces. They were 10 out of 10. Like the last track, Global Warming, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was totally chilling with that song.
Cool. So I have so much to say because this is literally this album. This album is so Jesus Christ. We're starting early.
Jason, up, no, we're quit.
I just
Quitting the
did.
podcast.
I just had like a spicy dinner, and like there's a lot of shit in my throat right now, so I'm drinking water. I'm gurgling and cracking, so I'm trying to get all this out now because I really don't want this to be fucked up. But this album is
Mm.
so many fucking things to me. First of all, so I never really like it took me a while to get into like this quasi quote unquote death metal style. Um and I listened to screaming with bands, but the majority of the bands I listened to it for the most part have majority clean singing. And so Ocean Planet, which is the first track of this album, was literally the first song that I had ever heard from Gojira.
Huh.
So, and there's something like I wasn't really too much of a fan of the screaming because I just wasn't accustomed to it. Jesus. But for some reason, like the riff, the main chugging riff with the pinch harmonic, there's something about it that seemed like so mysterious to me, or just like I've listened to metal and I've listened to all the stuff with it, but like for some reason, there's something that was so different about it. It really just piqued my interest, and I just all the while just chipping at me, it became one of my favorite albums of all time, and it kind of had that similar effect that the Crack the Sky from Mastodon had on me, where it's like it had such an ethereal like element to it, but it wasn't so blatant. Like it was in the note choices that they made and just the emotion in the theme, and also the artwork.
Definitely.
Like the artwork of the
Definitely.
whale flying is one of my favorite of all time. So this is one of my favorite. I think this to me this is like this is like one of the best metal albums of all time, and it's one of my favorites
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah, man. I have to agree with you about just the actual um in terms of because like Gojira is a very good band from what I had heard previously. Um they're a very good band at creating, similar to Mastodon, just like that atmosphere and like just that um like it just demands your attention and like it's not boring and it just feels so like I don't know how you say like man like I could like you just see how good this album is like I'm just at a loss for words like
Yeah, and
um like
the
it's just this
sorry,
aura
go ahead, keep on.
with
Yeah,
yeah it's like this aura not in the sense of like Lateralis because I think Lateralis like just the music just like the aura you just feel it it's pretty obvious that like it just feels kind of Lateralis is supposed to be like just this spiritual like you're going on a journey to like the ends of the universe kind of thing but like this with from Mars to Sirius you get that but in like a different more like no, this is not me dogging Lateralis but it's a more like not refined but I mean I guess I just don't know what to say like it's just do you understand what I mean?
well, it's a totally different genre. It's a different style. Like I know, like the one of the guitars for, and probably not all of them, but I know at least one of the guitars. One of his influences is Tool, so like it has that element of like of raw emotion in there, but it's totally different styles of music. Um,
Yeah.
but the one thing that you're saying is like at the beginning how this is just like a solid crushing album, song through song, all the way through. That's one thing that some people don't like about this album is that like they think it's like too much or it kind of drags on in that same sort of style throughout the whole entire thing. But for me, I like it because I like the concept of the album and I like the songs on the album. So I like how it had a cohesive flow throughout the entirety of it.
But that I don't even really agree with because like the point of the people saying like it's too much and stuff like that. I thought there was plenty of levity, like with tracks like Unicorn and like the intro to Flying Whales, which Flying Whales that song is a
Yeah,
fucking masterpiece.
that's like
That
one of the
song is
best.
so good.
But even
When I heard
the lead
yeah,
singer for he was talking about how he never got why that song got so popular because in his mind like he thought that the intro was too long. Some of the riffs he thought were kind of repetitive and like he just thought it was too long of a song and that people weren't gonna like it. So he was shocked to see that that was like one of their cult classics, which is kind of funny.
yeah. But yeah, but that or Global Warming was I think was the best song. I loved um To Sirius. That was a really good track.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff is there's some of my favorite riffs to play. I know a lot of times like, oh, I always love playing this riff, but like I always play riffs off of this album. To Sirius is
Yeah.
just such a fucking badass riff. But the one thing that I like is like, do you know the concept behind this album?
No, I don't because I prefer to like not really know and then have you explain it to me. I just think it's better that way.
Well, so there's a lot of
Yeah.
different interpretations, but basically it's a metaphor. I mean, obviously, like Gojira has had a very like environmentally, or had a very like they're not like environmental activists, but I guess they're close to it. I guess, but
I
a lot
knew
of their
that.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of their music has that similar sort of theme, but it's not in like a preachy, pretentious kind of way. It's like they mix it with like a surreal, supernatural kind of not supernatural, but um fairy tale. Not Jesus Christ, not the right word either. More of folky, I would say. But
Okay, yeah. That's a good push.
but
Yeah, it's a good
basically,
word to
it's
say.
how it's like the planet's being destroyed, and whales have come. It's been a while since I've talked about the concept of this. Whales come from Mars somehow to Earth to like take people that have enlightened to take them and have them escape the dying world to go into a new planet pretty much, and that's the
Oh.
theme of like flying whales, and that's like you hear that theme a lot in the song, and that's why I want to go over some of
Ah,
the
okay.
lyrics because a lot of the lyrics mix together. But the thing that I love is that they describe a lot of like landscapes and those kind of feelings of being on a world that is just so far gone and that you're longing for something prettier, and that's what it looks like on their album covers and the imagery that they present with their music, and it just gives me like under this raw brutal aggression this just beautiful undertones, especially in the melodies and the imagery and in the lyrics. And so it gives you that sense of longing for another world, and they have that kind of theme where it's beautiful imagery of places that are so far away but are so familiar. So it's the metaphor of like not escaping our planet but trying to take care of what we have. That's like a big underlying metaphor in a lot of their music. But this one, it gives distinctive verses to that, and that's why I love like track by track. So Ocean Planet was pretty much basically the visions of like Earth being destroyed or whatever world that you want to use as a metaphor. So it's basically just that going through the fear and the anger of and the tumultuous just crashing of waves and water, destroying everything around you, and then it's just like longing for the whales to come kind of thing. But so Ocean Planet is kind of a weird track, and they kind of struggle with it playing live just for the timing of it. But it's very interesting. I've never heard like another song that like spaces it out the way that song does.
Yeah, initially when I was listening to that song, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it just because I mean the actual structure and like the pacing of it, it's really like weird.
Yeah, it's a very weird
And
song. That's why I like it. It was very
I mean,
interesting
yeah,
to
it's
me.
right. It's an acquired taste. Ooh, from the sky. That song was badass.
Yeah,
I think that's actually like might be my favorite Gojira song.
From the Sky.
Yeah, like probably for the gym. That's like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's kind of has that same thing where it's like in the lyrics. Um, it's hard to pick a point to start this, but there's a line that I really like in here. It's basically, um, at the first sound there was light, a storm of time and space just came and struck and created our time. In water life, we understand it just only begun. Forced to look at the sky and wonder why we cannot face the fact that we're all scared now of the mysteries of life. So a lot of that is just basically it has an ominous feeling, but also just like I said, sense of longing and beauty and just wonderment about.
Yeah, like I never. Yeah, exactly. Because like even if a lot of this music is like aggressive and stuff like that, and like angry, like I never feel like it's like hopelessness and that it's just like you're just drenched in like the fires of hell. I just feel yeah, like I get what you mean. Like because a lot of the songs you do feel like the gravitas and like just the greater beauty there is in everything,
Yeah.
and like just the cycle of like suffering, and from suffering you become happy and stuff like that. You can just kind of see that throughout the
Yeah,
album.
and basically what you just said correlates with like one of the last patches of the songs. Like Lost, I found there a stone erected in line with one of the brightest stars of all the night sky vault. And I took my time, took off the moss, washed away the dust, and gave a new lease of life. Its mystical force, I grab it now, and praise this Lord of earth and stone, make passage for souls awakened so it returns to where it's always been, with the gods now coming, I feel the love, it comes from on high. So gods being like the whales, like the or whatever your metaphor for salvation is. Because I remember I always look at like massive landscapes and like you get that sense of something more, right? You get that sort of like weird emotion you can't really describe, and it's just like you always think about, are there other places that are like this, or like is there a like when we die, is there a better place to go from beyond, or like is this fixable right now to just keep unlocking more secrets here on Earth, or is it from somewhere that comes from the stars? So the that kind of tug of war between those two mindsets is why this is one of my favorite themes for this whole entire album.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, and another thing, I love whales so much. Like I must state that right now. Like whales are my favorite animal. There is nothing more majestic, beautiful, and just cool as a whale. Like I love whales. I
Yeah.
love the I love those like how do you like just those eerie but at the same time beautiful sounds they make when they're like communicating with each other. It's so like all the siren kind of sounds. It's so pretty.
Yeah, and that's why I like that how they put actual whale sounds in some of the tracks of the songs.
Yeah, I
Every
love
time I've
that. Like
showed that
in
to people, they thought it was creepy. It's like, really?
no, I thought it like in Unicorn and in Flying Whales. I thought that was awesome, especially with the background music. I just thought it enhanced it.
Yeah, they definitely know how to raise a mood, especially like for From the Sky, like like when it goes back into like the clean little the triplet part on crack
Uh-huh.
to the and then it goes like right back into the heavy verse. Yeah,
Oh, that riff is great.
yeah. So like I love how they
Yeah.
create mood, and like it's relative like all it is like 4 or 5 notes. They're just speed picked in the right order. It's not super. It's kind of it's sort of similar to the way that Tool approaches writing music. It's like simplicity in the notes creates more of the emotion, but obviously they play a lot harder style than Tool does. Like it's not like super difficult in context to other death metal, especially technical death metal, but like, objectively it's more difficult than Tool is to play. So it's like it's
Yeah.
not like it's like simple music, but it's just well crafted. It's not wanky, which is nice.
Yeah, well crafted is such a good way to describe this, and especially a lot of this album did remind me of L'Enfant Sauvage, where I just felt that raw like aggression combined with the beauty and everything.
Yeah.
Um, Even though I think there's kind of slightly more hope in this album, whereas I think L'Enfant Sauvage is more like dour and sad. I think so.
Yeah, it's a more melancholic kind of beauty. This one has more. Yeah, I think it's more optimistic, and it's like I said, it's that sense of
Yes,
like
yes.
that like curiosity. I think is a better word to describe it.
Right, and I think that's why whales were such a good choice as like the flagship animal or just the flagship thing to represent the album. It's just because whales have that sense of like mystique to them, and like we like where they where are they like swimming to, like how I don't know, like can we like uncover this thing and there's this like big like cavern of like whales and like a whale society. I don't know, like or deep in the ocean. I don't know. Like it just they feel like the gods of the ocean.
Yeah, this just that just that sense of
Yeah.
just abyssal authority.
Right.
And
Like
just
it's just
crushing. Like
it
I feel like whales are crushing. Like they just lump out of the water and just like crash right back down. There's just such a heavy fucking force, and that's why like it's just like a symbol of strength. That's why Backbone is probably like I've seen them live like 2 or 3 times, and Backbone is the song when they play I almost fucking lose my life. People lose their fucking shit to that song.
So Backbone.
Mm-hmm. It's probably like their
I
most. I would say that or Heaviest Matter in the Universe is probably the most aggressive tracks on this album.
I did like Heaviest Matter of the Universe, but I liked Where Dragons Dwell a little bit more just because it gave me like
Really?
because well yes because when you go from the sky to unicorn, that's a big drop in mood. Not saying of quality, but just in differentiation,
Yeah,
right?
it's an
So
interlude pretty much.
right, but then you go to Where Dragons Dwell, and that one was not as heavy as From the Sky. So I thought that that was like a nice like you're going back up the hill, you know?
Yeah, they placed it in a good position.
Yes, and that's why the order of the tracks really does matter, you know?
Well, that's
Especially for like these kind of albums like that tell stories and stuff like that, not
yeah.
directly but subtly they do, and I just think that's really important.
That's one of the songs that a lot of people thought that drug on kind of too long, especially towards the end because it's the same riff over and over again and him like screaming in the background. But like
It's a good riff though.
it's meant to trance you out. Like it's meant to like make you space out and like just kind of feel it. But um dude, live he fucking like hit it's kind of sad because like the way he screams since he's getting older, I feel like it's taking more of a toll on his voice. But back
Right.
when this album came out, the live version of this song, they cut out the music. He's screaming by himself and he's making weird noises on the guitar before the band kicks in. It's the most eerie shit, but it sounds so fucking cool. Like his voice was powerful as fuck live. That was the one thing that was good about him compared to all the other bands. All the other bands, like a lot of the screamers sounded kind of weak live, but like he was fucking powerful. And so like it
This
actually created a
oh
really good
sure.
atmosphere with this song because like this is a really hard song to pull off live and make it sound good.
This is Where Dragons Dwell.
Yeah. Fucking if you ever
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah,
I'd love to listen to that.
yeah, the live version, like like where it cuts out and he starts screaming before like that same riff like outludes the entire song for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that part when they do it live is fucking insane.
Nice.
It's one of my favorites. But yeah, I like that song, but that's the one that I think people thought was the weakest on the album. That's why I think it's cool that you like that more than the Heaviest Man of a Universe because that's another really popular song.
That was good. I just don't like thinking back to it. I don't really remember as much of that one. Maybe it'll resonate with me more with more listens because I mean I'm keep listening to this definitely.
Yeah.
I really also about Where Dragons Dwell was that was one of the songs where like I really did notice the lyrics and I thought that they were really badass. Like
Yeah.
when he's just like has that really deep like demon voice and he's a deep voice is rising from the heart of the mountain and it like this the beat that he sings it at it's just it feels so good and so perfect.
Yeah, yeah. His
Yeah.
dude, their lyrics are some of my favorites. I especially on this. I think like L'Enfant Sauvage had pretty good lyrics. They always have like a spiritual element, and then the Way of All Flesh was more of an esoteric, like self help spiritual kind of guys, and this one was more just like fantasy. And then L'Enfant Sauvage had more of a continuation on that like self spiritual theme, but like they made it a little bit more less like I don't know the word that they made it like a little bit more simpler I should say, but I'm not really a fan of the newer lyrics. Like the lyrics on Magma and the lyrics on Fortitude for the most part are not I don't think on par as their older stuff.
I don't remember anything from Fortitude.
The Amazonia was kind of a cool one, but it was a pretty simple message. Born for One Thing was just about your fear of dying. I don't remember what Sphinx was. I assume it's just the ancient Egyptians and pyramids and shit. But yeah, it wasn't really. They didn't really go too deep into any kind of contextual stuff. But yeah, I like pretty much all the lyrics on the Heaviest Man of the Universe. Basically, like flying through a black hole. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anytime you get that kind of stuff in there, I'm in. I love that kind of stuff.
yeah. So yeah, some of my favorites from like when he starts doing the clean vocals on that song. So it's enter in this realm of nothingness as I feel the cold. My eyes are shut. My fear is slowly dying. Light years
Yeah.
from here are my thoughts in cages. I can hear their moan, but now a long, deep breath is calling. So, shit's trippy.
Man.
And then obviously the lyrics on Flying Whales are about how the the world is underwater and then the whales are rescuing people to take them off Earth.
Wait, give me 1 second. Hold on.
For those
All
of
right,
you
I'm back.
listening, yeah,
I'm back. Yeah, sorry, I had something important. Sorry. No, yeah, I was listening to like all the stuff you were saying about the lyrics and how trippy it is. Yeah, because I am just really into. I've mentioned this multiple times. I'm just really into stuff that just feels like you're going to the ends of the universe and like you're just stretching your mind of like possibilities of like what you can think of and like going into different realms of understanding and reality. I'm really into that kind of stuff.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what they make you think of. And I don't know, like I don't feel like not that many people like I feel like anytime a band tries to like do lyrics in this style, it's very, very difficult not to make it sound like they're just using it just because they want to make it fit the theme, and you can always tell they don't have like a understanding of it. They just use it because it sounds cool in a song. So like they actually like use the metaphors as a personal reflection of how you view life and how you view the beauty in life and also the sadness and anger and the fear.
Right.
I think is always cool. It's meant to be as a reflection. It's not meant to be preachy. I think is the biggest difference.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure our my views of religion and politics are probably completely different than Gojira's view of religion and politics, but I don't really feel that in the music, you know. All the only reason I know that they're environmentalist and vegan is because someone told me. I don't get that from their music at all. Like you know, there's nothing in the lyrics that like bothers me because they do a good job of you know like you said layering their music and making it actually like substantive, you know,
Yeah.
and not preachy, you know, because preachy like it doesn't matter what you're saying. That's why I don't really like. I generally don't like Christian movies that are just designed for the message. And it's like, yes, they do have the benefit of the message being good, but that doesn't excuse the fact that they're poorly made, you know?
Yeah, there's always a crutch, and you don't. That's what you want to avoid. It doesn't matter what you like, anything you believe in or anything that you're a fan of. If your art does not reflect that and only just reflects a message that somebody can agree with, it's not going to be good.
Right, but also
It's also the subtlety. Like I know we say that a lot on here, but like I think this is a very subtle album because a lot of people, especially when they are not a fan of this style of music, they'll just listen to it and all they hear is like screaming and loudness. Like they won't get any sort of emotion out of it. But then again, they're also one of these bands where a lot of people that generally aren't in this kind of music they can get into them, which is very interesting.
yeah, I mean, because well, it took me a little time to like Gojira because initially I was like, ah, they're just some like metal band they're too heavy for me. I don't know, but then I actually like gave them more time. And I was like, whoa, there actually is a lot more to this than I thought there was.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. The dynamic is a little bit more subtle on this album, but like if you actually like play instruments and you have a general understanding of theory and like sound production, you actually like listen to what they're doing. It's pretty fucking incredible. Especially
yeah.
like this album came out in like 2006.
I know that's insane because this thing feels timeless.
It is time like you would never know what like you I mean it could come out today, it could have came out in the 90s, could have came out in the early like you have no idea what era this came out of.
Okay, yeah, I must specify. I think from the '90s and on, it's timeless. Not like this could have came out like any year. Like no, but yeah, I think you kind of assume that,
Yeah,
right?
no, I mean obviously this didn't come out in the 70s or 80s, like I know that, but
No,
anything past the
absolutely
90s
not.
you could never tell.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Is this their first album?
No, this is their third.
Okay.
Yeah,
What did
Terra
they make before this?
the Link. And the Link was so Terra Incognita was just like a straight up fucking crushing brutal death metal album, and it had some elements of weirdness to it in the songs, but like they definitely had their own original sound, but like there wasn't really too much of depth to it. Like it was just brutal fucking metal. And then their second album, they started to get more like tribal, and they had a little more spiritual themes. I had actually some of my favorite lyrics on the song Remembrance about like just growth and reflection. and they had more weird stuff, but it was kind of more of a straight death metal, but you could tell they were going in a different direction. And then this album was like, we're gonna still keep the brutal elements, but we're totally gonna add a a new dynamic and depth to our music. So it kind of was like a they for them that I thought they kept progressing until Magma. And when I listened to Magma, I was like, I like this difference of style because, like I said, his voice can't take this kind of aggression anymore. So he's gonna do more clean singing and change up the little bit softer elements. And then to what we have with Fortitude, and I think Fortitude is kind of a combination of all the stuff that they've done. I go back and forth whether I like this one or Magma more. But compared to their older albums, like they just can't compare.
Yeah. Yeah, because Magma, I mean, so that was the first Gojira album I ever listened to. Um, Obviously, like, I think the first 5 songs are great, and then after that, I think it just peters out.
Yeah,
But even though, like, the first 5 songs, like, they just don't have the same sophistication and enough there to, like, keep me interested
yeah,
in what's. I mean, obviously they are interesting. They're good, well made songs, but they're just not as well made and intricately, designed as the other as like the earlier albums, like you showed me. Like when I listened to L'Enfant Sauvage, same situation. Like it took a little time, but then, well, okay, no, sorry, it's not exactly the same because with L'Enfant Sauvage, it took like a little time, but then I was like, oh wait, no, this is awesome. Because at first, like I was like, oh, this is too brutal, but then, over time, like I listened to it like a more, and then I was like, this is great. And then this one, it was really only the first song, but then after that, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And
Isn't
sorry,
it
what were you
crazy how
asking?
our brains just fucking just it's just there's some mental block that's stopping us from enjoying something. Then once it's passed, like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. It's really fascinating
Yeah,
to me.
I know, but it also is a testament to how like what you think is like what you really truly feel is great and has lasting value really takes time and is not just going to be that thing that like is just instant. Sometimes it is, but that's really not that much of the case. I don't think so.
No, and it does take time, but like I guess it's harder these days because I mean I include myself too, even though I'm actively trying to work against it. Is attention spans being shorter, wanting more instant things, and I feel like
Yeah.
you don't want to put the work in. Like some people just want to enjoy music. Like they don't want to put active work in to listen to music. Like that's insane to some people. Like if they don't like it, they don't like it.
Well, I
Um,
mean that's I think that's fair because like everyone has something that they're really into and they're really into how it's made, like what things you use to make it, the history of the thing. But then other people have certain things where it's like they just have like pretty generic tastes in it and they're like, yeah, it's just not really my thing that I put as much effort into. Like for me it's really food. Like I have a pretty generic taste in food.
yeah.
I mean I cook myself my own stuff, but I mean it's nothing special. It's just like ground turkey, olive oil and like Worcestershire sauce. I mean, it's pretty boring. Like, and it's just that and like Ezekiel bread and hummus, and that's really it. I mean, most time like when I go out, I'm not really very picky to what I eat, you know. But also at the same time, because I'm not really picky of what I eat, when I have the option of like what do you want to eat? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I want you to pick it.
I feel like music is an easier like medium to deal with though than food.
Yeah,
Because like
okay,
making food and
I'll give you
making
that.
music good is difficult, but digesting food and digesting music is easy. Um, but I don't know.
Not all food.
Well, it's true. That's the saying. I feel like food is harder to deal with digesting wise than music is, because like you can sit there and listen to an album or a song that you hate, but if you eat a food that you hate or you don't like or makes you sick, it's a big fucking problem. It ruins your goddamn
Oh
day.
yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I guess my whole point was just like I like putting in active work to make music or to research about gear or to listen to music and just understand contextually. And I feel like it just opens your mind more when you do that. And it doesn't make it as difficult to listen to new styles of music. So like I can listen to something I kind of don't like and then but I still enjoy it, and then being able to appreciate it, and then also like eventually liking it just for the sake of it being good music, as opposed to any sort of psychological block or some sort of dogmatic trigger that's preventing me from doing something.
I
Um,
still have certain, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because, well, anyway, I still have some certain dogmatic blockers against certain kinds of music where I'm like, I can't. Like, this is just not good. Like, I've never heard, like, a song that I like.
yeah,
you know, um, not necessarily an entire genre, but just like a vast majority of it. I'm like, this is just not good. Like, I'm sorry.
yeah. I feel that way
Like,
with
you,
country. Like, there's a couple. Like, if I really tried my best, I probably could find like 10 artists that are a little bit smaller that I really love, but I don't want to put the work in to find country music that I like because as an overall thing, I just don't like the genre. So, yeah, you don't.
I'm saying,
Not saying you have to go fucking hardcore out of your way, but I just think it's interesting how it just takes a little bit of active brain work to just change your mind about something music related, which is really interesting. But
right. Yeah.
going to the next track, In the Wilderness, this is also another one of my. I love this fucking song to death, especially. It's just so fun to play, and it's just a lot of the fucking guitar tones on this album are just so fucking crushing. Like they just feel like this heavy, thick sludge, but you can still make out the articulation of the notes. It's really crazy.
I hate to disappoint you, but that was not one of my favorite tracks.
I like it more for the tone, is what I'm saying. Like the
Yeah, I
actual
guess.
guitar tones on it, but the outro to the song I really like, where they're doing like the octave chord strumming, the little melody at the end.
I thought it was very long.
See, that was the song that drug it out for you. So you liked Where Dragons Dwell, but this was the song that drug it out.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just felt like I was just like, can I just move on to the new song? And I look up and it's like 3 minutes left. I'm like, oh, great. I mean, I don't know if it was longer than the other tracks or it just felt longer because I just wasn't enjoying myself as much.
I
I
think
don't
it's like
know.
a. I mean, it is a long song. It's like a 6 or 7 minute long song, but I like the
Eh.
tone and I like some of the riffs on it. Um, World to Come. What'd you think of that one?
Hmm. Wait, I'm actually trying to remember which one that was.
It was the slower one.
Let me hear this. Hold on. Oh yeah, like was it? Yeah, I like that tone. That was really nice. That was different than the rest of the.
Yeah. So that
That was very. That was kind of the most like mellow thinking kind of track. You know.
yeah, this is one. This is another one of like their take on like a drone kind of thing, but not like in the event of holding out chords, just like having the same like heavy emotion go throughout the entire song. But like this one has some of the best lyrics in my opinion to describe like
Mm,
longing for better places in the galaxy, or just
yeah.
looking at like objects on you looking at like a tree or a mountain range or some sort of scenery that's so beautiful and you question that like something about it seems otherworldly, so it's like is there another design that's close to this on some other planet, or is there some you know ancient context that used to be really important here that I'm missing. So the lyrics on this one are some of my favorites on the album. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love him talking about the world he saw in like a dream.
Yeah,
That's great. That really does speak to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the lines, "This is the earth, but ages after. I know the world will overcome its pain. The simple fact that I dream about it already makes it happen in the rain."
Oh, yeah. That is
These these
preach, dude.
it's really funny because like when you sit and read out lyrics out of context, they sound like lamer than they should in the actual song, but still I think that they're
Yeah, but I mean that's a testament to how like the actual way like the note selection and the actual music that's accompanying the lyrics is important.
yeah, because like he's not singing it, he's like screaming it or singing it with like such a heavy power to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
From Mars is another one that's really unique, and I like songs that do this. I like a really, especially like I love they do really creative tapping licks in their music. So creating a melody with tapping that's actually catchy is kind of difficult because a lot of prog guys will just they'll do some intricate tapping riffs with chords, or they'll do a really simple like Eddie Van Halen eruption style of tapping. So it's like you either get very simple or just over complex. And even though like some of them are really cool melodies, it's difficult to make like a anthemy, very catchy kind of tapping riff. So I love playing the actual riff on this one, and then the lyrics as well, um, being self
Yeah,
reflective.
yeah, I thought the song was interesting.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the one I'm gonna dial up over the other ones, but it was interesting. you know.
It's a fun one. Like if you try to like sing and play at the same time, like it's just it's one of those ones like you just love it more over time. It just that's the one that like really grows on you because it's like a it's like a 2 and something minute song. So like it's meant to be as a break from the rest of the album, kind of like another interlude. But it still was a short song. But I just it's really fun and interesting the way that they did it. But yeah, To Sirius was one that is it's another just fucking brutal song, and it's also really fun to play, especially the intro riff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they
That you felt that.
the riffs on this album, like they it's hard like obviously we use a ton of adjectives to describe this whole entire album for about, 30 minutes now, but it's just this the way that they write their shit is just I don't it's a mixture of like the tone of it and also just the way that they write it. It's and I know that's very vague, but I can't really describe it other than like they have this primal fucking like aggression that it just makes you want to. It's a very fast moving, especially with the drums, because like the drums also really make a big difference. So the drummer is fucking insane with the way that he does his patterns, and obviously like his double bass is fast throughout most of the album. So it's just
Oh yeah, the drummers I think is excellent. I
yeah.
mean, that just you don't even need to say that.
Yeah,
He's so good.
it's hard to say anything else, but he does play good drums. Like it's crazy the shit that he can do on this, and also, especially live. Like I always have such a profound respect for death metal drummers that can just blast notes for 2 hours straight. It's fucking insane how they just don't get tired.
I mean, yeah, it's a valuable skill.
Yes, that was a good one. And then yeah, global warming is the
Yeah,
perfect outro.
yeah, talk about go out with a bang.
Yeah,
That is like one of the best endings to an album ever.
yeah. And again, like it's a very catchy tapping riff.
Oh yeah, because I recall I think I recalled you playing that one time at the guitar store.
Yeah, I was trying to learn it and like sing at the same time, but there's just no fucking I don't have the time in the world to practice to do that.
I mean, I could sing it.
If you want to cover this one, I'd be down. Like it's such a fucking great song. Like
Yeah, we could do that.
especially like
Um,
the mixture between the clinging the singing and screaming I think is perfect on this one because a lot of times like people are like oh scream in the verse sing in the chorus, that's such a played out kind of trope in harder styles of music, but the fact that it's not set up in I mean it is kind of set up in that way, but it doesn't feel like it's going back and forth into like verse chorus, like it feels like it's a natural continuation of switching the style. Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
parts
I
that you're
mean, I
supposed to sing, you're supposed to sing. The parts you're supposed to scream, you're supposed to scream.
okay. I never really thought about it that way, but yeah, I guess.
What I'm saying is like it's difficult to. I mean, this is just for me because I've listened to this genre for a while. So it's like 90% of bands follow that formula. Scream in the verse, sing in the chorus, and it's pretty predictable the way they do it.
I see. Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I just really liked how um this album, and they did this a lot with L'Enfant Sauvage too, especially this album. I just love the mix of themes and like emotions and like um how do you say? Well, I guess I already kind of said it. It's really just that mix of like aggression and longing for something, but hope and like desire. Just that's why. I mean, because that's why people can tell like there's a similar pattern in like the things that I like. I love things that juggle so many different ideas and then just it's all with one through line.
yeah,
That like is like it puts it all in order. It's so nice. It's just I love like I'm really into design.
yeah. I
And
think
how things can be. Like how you can have something that is technically jam packed of music and ideas and things that like seemingly like it wouldn't make sense together, but it just with like just that touch, like just that special sauce, you know?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, making the contrast work is always impressive to me with anybody. And that's the one thing about this genre is that like there's a lot of like cynical and pessimism just as a general aura. And I think what I like about this is that it takes all of that I mean, not to sound fucking contrived, but or not contrived,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, you said it. It was stated. I don't know really know what other way you could say it.
I like the mixture of the optimism in there because like I mean I'm fucking that's what draws me to this genre is like I like you know getting my cynical pessimistic views backed up and just giving a space to repress or to just release that sort of
You're
negativity.
not. You don't want to be repressed, sir.
No, but
You do not want to be.
I like how these guys use a lot of because like they take they take a theme that's complex. They take music that's like edgy and not edgy. That's the wrong word. Like just aggressive and just crushing, but they don't have like corny like edgy lyrics, which is what I love about them. Like there's a lot of other bands that fill that gap and do that fucking trope over and over again. I like that they're the ones. I mean, obviously there's more bands doing that now, but back in that day it's not like super long ago, but obviously like other death metal bands of that day were not doing lyrics like that. I think there's another band called Cynic, and they had more like spiritual themes to them, kind of too, but theirs were more cryptic. They weren't as straightforward as Gojira's were.
Yeah.
Um,
Man, I mean, well, this was like like 2 or 3 years old when this came out.
yeah, it's fucking
That's
wild.
crazy. That is crazy.
But I think the ending lyrics before he just says we will see our children growing where he just does that like brutal like low scream. It's like I had this dream of our planet surviving, the guiding stars always growing in all the worlds, the fates all the countries, they're all rebuilding at the same time. I never fell and always believed in we could evolve and get older. Open your eyes and let all this flow. Now see a new hope is growing inside, and then we will see our children growing over and over again until the song ends. I just thought it was just such a beautiful ending.
Yeah. I mean, all with like the such good music.
Yeah. So yeah, this is
It's
I mean
just
hands
yeah.
down one of
There's
my
nothing
favorite
else to say.
albums. It's my favorite albums of all time.
Oh yeah, this shit gets a 9. It's probably gonna be a 10 at some point. It just I don't know how I just felt some of the tracks I was like, like in the wilderness or I don't know. Actually, Backbone I was not really that big on either.
Really? A lot of people like that one.
I mean, it was good, but it wasn't my favorite on the album. Like the one that really hit me was From the Sky. Like when I heard that I was like, okay, I really like this album.
I love when music reflects like the title because the after the first tremolo riff where it goes like it does like the pumming and then like the little pick scrape that they do, like it actually sounds like shit's like falling from the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, like musical onomatopoeia.
Yeah, they onomatopoeia is a good adjective to describe Gojira.
Yeah, I guess you could.
They take the time, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this. I know this is one of those albums that like people don't understand that like the way you record is very very important, not just and you can it's like the method acting's like you could go really pretentious with it, but I'm not obviously like the way you physically record makes a difference because of the sound, like, but that's you can artistically take that in so many directions. But obviously if you just cop out and do the digital thing and compress all the shit and just raise the vocals and have no interesting sounds, then that's not really a production. That's just making a fucking carbon copied song. But I think they like rented a cabin somewhere in the like forest or woods or some shit, and they brought all this like gear into this like one room, and I don't know if they wrote the songs here or if they like had concrete ideas and they jammed them out just naturally as a group together, so they didn't like sit at a computer and fucking like cut paste or just write individual riffs until they made a song. I think this is one of those just let's see if we can create something in this space and isolate it and see what we can do. I think that's how they did it.
That's cool. Yeah, because I mean, like you said, I hate when artists like rely on like the how we made it to sell that it's good.
Yeah,
You know,
I just think
I'm like,
this one is
I
just
don't.
adds to it.
Right, exactly. Like, it can only be a thing to like enhance. It can never be like the selling point.
Or
Like I really do love the Revenant. but a lot of the like the movie, but a lot of the selling point was the oh we shot it in the cold. It was hard as hell to make. Please like enjoy this movie.
Yeah, if they saw it as like a buzzword, no, but I just more mean like you have to think about like all of, like the best albums that you really love. Like how do they like what was their process of making it? I think that's more of the point for why people do like behind the scenes of making albums, because like there's a lot of different ways to do it, and you can kind of tell the all the albums that you love if they have a similar theme of like of production. You know, when you start writing your own music, just to kind of get into that same headspace, and you might, because some people work better organically and some people like work better playing it out, because a lot of modern bands do the cut and paste, or they'll just like write individual riffs into Pro Tools and then they'll just add more stuff until they have a cohesive song, and some people work better that way and some people just work better off the cuff. So that's why I find them interesting. I always love to know how people make their albums. But yeah, I don't think it's a selling point just because you can do it fucking, it's, you know, there's infinite amount of ways that you can make an album or a song. So I just like to see what the process is.
Yeah, because like when you see behind the scenes of like movies and music and the sort, you can really appreciate like how much goes into making it. You know, because a lot of the times, like at face value, like we don't really realize what it takes to make these things.
Yeah. It takes shit tons of effort and work, and that's the one thing that's kind of annoying with artists, that they like they'll talk to the general public about it like oh, all my blood, sweat and tears went into this, you know, my fucking all the hardships I was going through at the time went into this. It's like no shit, everybody does that.
Yeah, right, but that doesn't mean it's good. I mean, you could
Yeah.
break your ass to like make something. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to come out
Yeah.
good.
The
Because
only
like I mean,
yeah.
yeah, because like a lot of it could just be burnout, and you're like, ah, let's keep working, you keep working, and then you just end up like fucking half-assing everything, you know?
Yeah. The only thing I think I agree with, as you know, a lot of the bands that I've listened to interviews about, is isolation. Seems, I mean, first off, just general emotion. Like if you can capture raw visceral emotion on anything, no matter how you do it, is going to be number one, as opposed to just forcing yourself to create something for the sake of creating something, or just sometimes writing shit in the studio is not a good idea. Sometimes you have to have a pre-planned structure. I'm not saying you have to write everything verbatim, because obviously shit changes when you get into the studio and your ideas will go and you add new sounds and you cut things out or add new things, but you have to have some sort of idea of what you want going in. But I think the isolation is probably the best. Like every band that I've listened to that says like how did they make their greatest album, like they locked themselves in a fucking room together and just didn't come out until they made something that was the best. um, so I think that there's a similar theme in that isolation together, and you don't have anything distracting you. Because I remember I haven't recorded too many times in like an actual studio. Most of it has been like at home, and I've hated doing that every single time, because like you're worried about time, you're worried about the money because it's more expensive. You're worried about we have to get this and this done. So being able to just create your own space and get a good sound is the music is just gonna be better. It just is.
Yeah, I mean it's the trifecta of art making:
Yeah.
fast, good, and cheap. You
Exactly.
can't have something fast and cheap that's good. You can't have something cheap and good that's fast, and you can't have anything, you know, fast and good that's cheap. Just it just can't. You can't. Like it just doesn't work. Only God is fast, good, and cheap.
He's the McDonald's of deities.
Well, it's actually good though. Not like it's not like just acceptable, you know.
That'd be a really funny fucking prayer. Someone's like, God, you're acceptable. Thank you.
You're you're the equivalent of McDonald's, which he's not, but you know.
Like, bro, what the fuck?
Man.
But yeah,
Yeah, but
man.
this is a good as shit album. I'm glad you told me to give this a second chance.
It's one of those albums where like you listen to it the first time and it's just like the curiosity kind of piques you. It doesn't take
Man.
multiple listens though. That's the cool thing. Like people are like, oh, I'll just give it 2 or 3 listens. Like you don't really need 3 listens. Like on the second listen, you're pretty much, if you're not gonna like it, you're not gonna like it. But if you're on the fence,
I agree. Yeah.
the second listen's gonna do it.
Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah, that's well said. Um, yeah, so that was From Mars to Sirius by Gojira.
Gojira.
Gojira. That's probably I'm gonna go back and listen to L'Enfant Sauvage and I'll think about which one I think is better.
I'm
Honestly, probably this one, but like L'Enfant Sauvage is great.
I go back and forth. I depends on how I'm feeling, but I love the I think it's because like this is the album that I listened to first, and then I think L'Enfant Sauvage was the second album that I listened to, and
Hmm.
then for The Way of All Flesh, and then Lincoln and their first album. So I listened to like their best three albums in a row. So sometimes it's hard for me to go back and forth because some of my favorite riffs are not on these two albums. Um, but again, yeah, From the Sky is just such a fun fucking riff to play.
Oh, I bet. Such a fun fucking song to have on when you're working out.
Yeah, it's a total fucking gym song for real.
Oh yeah, this whole album is pretty Jim.
And that's the cool thing too about their lyrics is that like you don't even have to fucking listen to them. Like you can just go to the gym and not even listen to the lyrics at all and just be fucking just pumped from the music itself. So that's the one thing I like about them is like you don't have to listen to the pretensions if you don't want to. But
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But even so, like even if like I said, like even if the messages or whatever about like environmentalism aren't even that strong and apparent, because I didn't really feel that. Even if like that bothers some people, like you can just listen to the actual music, because it's like a lot of it, like you said, he's screaming and like the words aren't necessarily legible.
I feel like I mean to most people that are not used to it, there's like you might be able to get like some words out, but like compared to other screamers, like he's pretty legible. Like you can clearly hear the words as opposed to
Well,
like
I think so, but a lot of people who necessarily aren't used to that wouldn't
yeah,
really think
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So it's like I feel and also
Mm.
I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but like he does a lot of like clean singing takes underneath of the screaming in the studio, so like you can hear a lot more of the definition between them. So that's kind of a trick that he uses too. Live, he kind of
Okay.
mixes the two voices together. He does like a yell scream thing, so you can hear more of the words live. So it's not just like a low gurgled mess. But yeah, on a lot of this, especially like that's why they have such a powerful vocal dynamic because like he holds out a lot of notes aggressively and then also clean sings them underneath.
Mm, okay.
But it's mixed together so well, so like you can't really hear the separation. I can kind of hear it. Like I've listened to them for years, so, like I can hear it more as the years go by. But like when I first listened, it was like one blended wall of sound that I could hear the fucking lyrics distinctively.
Mm. Yeah, nice.
But
um, what um, what album would you want to do next if you want to do another one
from them or just in general,
from them?
um, I think the next one is gonna be the Way of All Flesh because that one doesn't have that many beautiful elements like L'Enfant Sauvage in this album does. This one is just more visceral and it's more pessimistic, but it also has more again like they have more optimistic lyrics, but it has a lot more like dark. It has a darker undertone to it than these two do for sure,
Yeah,
and it's a little
Toxic
bit
Garbage Island, the art of dying,
yeah,
adoration for none,
yeah.
esoteric
Oh, I
surgery.
forgot the Art of Dying. Okay, yeah, this is definitely the next album. Yeah, this I'm
Okay.
of the top three. I think it's from Mars to Sirius, then L'Enfant Sauvage, and then The Way of All Flesh. To me, that's the order of to me, that's their best albums.
You said L'Enfant Sauvage,
Is
The Way
second,
of All. Okay.
and then Way of
Oh,
All Flesh is
the
third.
third, and then From Our Series first. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I
that's
can
my
see
top
that.
three.
Yeah, but for the next one, I wanted to do something different.
Oh no.
Are you up for another movie?
Yeah, of course. I like watching movies.
Yeah, man. So you're gonna watch with me Amores Perros.
Oh, that's right. This one you were talking about, the one in Mexico City.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie about the car crash in Mexico City and the underground dogfighting. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to figure out when, but because this weekend I'm busy, but maybe sometime.
We
Let
also
me
don't have to
see.
watch it together. I could also watch it on my own too.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I don't know. I just thought there was value in like watching City of God in the same room.
No, I enjoy it.
Like what?
If it's a scheduling thing, we can do it independently. But yeah, like we'll figure it out. But
Yeah,
but yeah,
because like I just like being with that person, seeing their reaction to shit.
you know what? You know what we should do? Because we've
What?
done like music and movies. We should do like paintings or pictures next. Just like take a fucking like picture and just like rip it to shreds or just like talk about all the shit about it. I've never like critiqued an art piece before
Like a painting? Yeah, I
or
wouldn't be
anything.
good at
Yeah.
that at all.
I like the colors. I like how
I don't know.
there's
It's
movement in the background.
well, yeah, I know. I know to myself why I do it or do not like it, but I can't really necessarily put that into words.
That's why it's a good brain exercise.
Oh, definitely. Critique and like explaining why you like something is a very,
Yeah.
very well. Yeah, I wanted to ask you this at some point if you knew, because like I mean I know I could just look this up on the internet, but I prefer to just talk to people
Yeah.
to see if they know.
Just Google it.
Um, yeah, I mean I could do that, but what is like the science behind what makes something cool? Do you know anything about that?
Not. Well, I mean, short answer, no. I don't know shit. But I mean,
Okay.
there's like science behind why people think something is cute, and I guess like why people. I don't know. Like it just depends on what you're
Right.
talking about. Like
I know
that's too vague
that.
of a description. Like what?
Right, because like I know there is science about like what makes something cute or what makes something look ugly. You know, like eyes. You know, you want like if you want something cute, I know you gotta have like big, like super full looking eyes with like huge pupils. You know,
Yeah.
whereas like small beady eyes look very demeaning and like sneaky and just evil. Yeah.
You mean cool in the sense of
Uh,
like you think something's like badass or like you admire something or have
yeah.
gratification.
Yeah, all three of those you could say.
I'd have to say like it's more of a I don't know like aesthetically I guess it's just a personal style that you like. Everybody has a different sense of what they think is cool, so I don't know what the specific science would be behind it, but like I guess like in terms of like thinking like you like there's a difference between somebody actually liking something and feeling inspired. Like that's two different types of emotions, even though they're on the same sort
Mm.
of spectrum. But I feel like if you think something is really cool or badass or it inspires you, it has to have a level of like it has to be like authentic and genuine. I feel like it can't be forced, it can't be pretentious, it can't be contrived, it can't be played out.
Mm.
Um, I feel like
So that's
it's a
what.
sense of relation. So it's like if you feel like you're any of those things, you're gonna see that in other media or people and just be disgusted. But if you see something that you want to be like, or something that is a reflection of the stuff that you already are, then
Mm.
I feel like
Okay.
there's something solid in that. But I don't know, like, if you were to ask me, like, what's the fucking chemical for it, or what's the specifics of what makes things cool, I have no idea.
Well, no, your answer kind of satisfied me. So, like, you essentially said it's basically like who you are as a person really affects like what you're gonna
Yeah, it's all a reflection.
think is
Like, to me, I like,
like
especially.
the Tool song.
Shut the fuck up. we're not we're not doing this every
Right.
fucking podcast. Um,
Oh, we will. No, I'm just kidding.
no, well, I mean, for example, yeah, I mean, if you want to bring up like that on music, I think stuff is cool. Like this album that we talked to about for an hour, like I said, there's a genuine emotion to it, and that stuff is cool to me. That's a representation of what I would like to do. I feel like it's difficult, and I don't hit that mark very often, so that's why I have a real genuine appreciation, and I really get excited talking about it because it's stuff that I can see in my life, but it's sometimes difficult for me to express, in my words or in my music. So to me, that stuff is cool. But like, if I'm looking like at a guy that I think looks cool, I guess just I can't describe it. It just depends on the person. Like, you could take two different people that wear, like, let's say like they're wearing like a leather jacket and boots and jeans. Like, one guy is gonna look really cool, and one guy's gonna look like a fucking jackass, right?
Yeah,
So it's just the
definitely. You
way that
know,
you carry yourself, I guess.
exactly. Well, yeah, who you are as a person,
Yeah,
and actually like your physical,
yeah,
like facial features and like your body really do have importance because like people at the end of the day, like, they respect looks, not necessarily like your if you're a good person or not, which is sad, but that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's life. It really is.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, because
But
it's like,
it is a spectrum, but it's. I mean, everybody finds different shit attractive. So like, you can get one person that 99% of people could find attractive, and there's a couple that just genuinely don't. So obviously there is a range. But yeah, I mean, the people that you find attractive, you're gonna admire more than the people than you don't. It's just that's just. I feel like there's no amount of science that you need to listen to for that one. But I think like if you are somebody that is authentic and you command a certain level of respect and you're very good at things, then to me, I think you're just cool. I think that's
yeah,
my definition. Is I like people
it's
that can
cool.
do shit and they're very good at doing things, even if they're like the only thing difference is that if they're annoying about it, then it's just kind of a turn off. But other than that, like if they're actually like good at what they do and they're adamant to teach it or share it, that to me is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, like I really like people who you know, have something to them. Like I like people that
Substance.
like you. Yeah, like exactly. Like they know how to do things, like they've been through experiences, and they understand more about life and aren't just complaining about how they're not getting paid enough at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, constant bitching. That's not fun. I hate, and I do that. Like there's times where I think it's
We're
fun to
all
like,
guilty. We are
yeah,
all guilty of,
I
of,
hate
of
it
constant
so much,
bitching.
and I don't notice it sometimes because I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like I'm more optimistic in my pessimism. Like I always like, oh, this fucking sucks. However, here's the silver lining. I feel like I'm the silver lining guy, even though I have a lot of negative emotions and I talk about a lot of negative shit. I always feel like there is some sort of light somewhere. But yeah, there's times where it's just like especially when you're with your friends, like you hate it when you're like when women do it or like with your mom or your girlfriend, they just all they do is bitch about work or people that annoy them, and you just sit there like, ugh, fucking have to listen to this for hours. I hate it. I hate that shit so much. And then like you'll be with
Yeah.
your friends, and then you'll all both complain about something like political or your day or work or some shit, and then you just sit there like, why we've been sitting here bitching for 20 minutes? Like this is
Yeah, I
stupid.
know. You just sit there like, what was this, like, what were we doing?
Yeah, I
Like,
hate it.
why didn't we like do something better than this,
Yeah, I hate
Like
it
the
when people do it.
yeah.
I hate it when I do it, and I hate it when I don't catch myself. Like, ugh, it makes me. I hate it so much.
Oh, I hate
I can't
when I like
stand whining.
that, yeah, but also like I hate when I catch myself in a conversation when like I'm not being who I am really, like I'm not being true to myself.
Yeah,
Like when I catch myself doing that, I'm like, "Oh, no. I
it's
got
the
to stop."
fucking worst.
Yeah.
And I think also that's kind of what makes you admire people that do that because like you always your perception of yourself and your perception of how you think people perceive you is two different things. And when you get reality checked, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, man.
So it's
I've had
like
that multiple times.
we all have. And you're supposed to do less of it and grow as you age, but the people that just don't figure that out and they're in their 40s, 50s even, they're just walking around like fucking jackasses and complaining about everything and bitching and screaming and yelling at people. It's just like, fuck, you're really lost. And I have no
Yeah.
respect for you.
Entitled people.
Yeah.
Ooh, how will we manage?
Well, I think that's why I think music like this is so important. And not to get too fucking horn tooty, but I don't know. I feel like I'm right about this. There's a couple things that I think I'm right on that I could be like, okay, I was wrong about that, but I feel like I'm pretty certain about this one. I feel like
Oh, I
you
got some things like that too, but yeah, continue.
I feel like you have to have some sort of outlet creatively that makes you a better person, whether that can be anything. Martial arts, music, singing, dancing, painting, crafting,
Yeah,
whatever the fuck,
substance.
some sort of thing to make you just push yourself, like give some drive, give some ambition, learn some hatred, learn some love, like fucking do something.
Yeah, I think like you really need something to do in your free time that's like recreative. That's sorry, recreational.
Yeah.
That's like not just like looking at your phone and playing video games. I think that's like the biggest reason why so many people are just boring and have like nothing to say.
I just think it depends
Is
on how
that
you do
that's
it. Like obviously there's skills you can learn from video games and you can learn any sort of
oh
information
sure,
from your
but
phone, but it just you have to draw the line somewhere. And I feel like what's that's why I'm reiterating my point even stronger. Like if you don't have an outlet like this, I feel like getting lost in your phone and video games is easy because like I play video games. I'm on my phone a lot, but I don't feel like I'm a slave to that shit or like I don't have to sit there all day doing that. Like I'm able to not be like I can not be on my phone all day and be fine. Like
oh yeah.
I was just at my parents' house over the weekend, and they don't have that good of cell service. And we'll go into West Virginia in the mountains, and there's like no fucking service out there, and I can just enjoy the time that I'm having, and not have to worry about what I'm missing or if people are saying shit. Or sometimes I like it. I don't like being fucking bothered all of the time and being readily available to everybody. It's not a
Well, I
natural
always
process.
yeah, I always like that. I mean, I am one of the biggest things I'm actually glad that I learned and that I'm able to do now is that, like I don't need to just be on my phone to pass the time. Like if I'm like waiting for an appointment or waiting for this, waiting for that, sitting in the waiting room, like I don't need to look at my phone. I can just sit down and just look around. I could just sit there and think, you know.
Yeah, and you don't
Like
have
I
to
don't
do
need
that all the
yeah.
time. Like if I'm waiting for something like or somebody, sometimes like I'll just play chess on my phone. Like it's not damaging.
Man,
It's
yeah.
you know what I
That's
mean?
good. That's good. Sure. Sure.
Stuff like that. So like, it just depends on what you're doing. But if you're sitting there scrolling through Instagram, like your brain's getting fucked.
Yeah, it's literally just softcore porn. So
Most dude, yeah, pretty much.
literally, I literally went on like Snapchat like not that long ago, and then I just look at like like you know how there's like the stories for like your friends, and then below that is just like like the random. I don't even know how that's generated.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just like, what? Like I was just like, how is this like a thing?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I'm gonna say right now, this is pretty fucking. They set you up to fail because I swear to God, because every now and again, like even, like you'll find like you'll scroll through and like you'll find like one person that looks attractive, and like oh shit, I'll click on it to give it a look. It's nothing, you're not jacking off to people's pictures online. You're not fucking messaging people. You're just looking, right? I swear to God, I looked at like one fucking I don't even know what it was. Like I don't even remember if it was like a girl playing guitar or if it's just like some fucking girl standing doing nothing and posing. I don't remember which one it was, but I clicked on one and then like my feed was fucking filled with it.
Oh man, that happens
Like the
to
algorithm and like
everybody.
but then like so I was messing around with the algorithm, so it's like the majority of stuff on my Instagram is music related. So it's like people playing shit or like pedals or like people selling shit or like bands are going on tour. Like that's the majority of it, and like very few like random because like I used to, especially like being single, like you just look at more like girls on the internet and shit. So like you just scroll through and see people you find attractive on Instagram, and then like the more you look at it, the more it pops up on your feed. That's super fucking difficult to get rid of because I've gotten in arguments with my girlfriend's like, why the fuck are all these bitches on your feed? Like I have no idea. I'm not sitting there doing this all day, I swear. And so like
Right.
I keep like removing the pictures. Like you can play with this, like I don't want to see this type of content kind of thing. So like anytime like dude, took me hours one day. I just kept like deleting like any like slight
Mm,
hint of cleavage or like yoga pants shit. Like I just kept going
mm,
like people playing guitar, whatever. Like that I can defend.
mm.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
I'm watching this just to stare at somebody's tits while they're playing at something. Like you got me, whatever. But um, but
not a
dude,
good look, bro.
it's so much harder to get that shit off the algorithm than it is. I swear to God, you look at one and then boom, it's like you look at it all day. It's just like what the fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's why I solved the problem by just like not looking at it anymore because I'm like I don't get anything out of this.
It sucks because like it shouldn't be that way. There's people you're like, oh shit, she's really attractive. And then you just look at it, then you move on with your day. Like
Oh yeah, exactly. I
it's
mean,
fine. It's like everybody does that.
yeah.
It's like it's like in public. It's like you're not staring at someone's fucking ass in public. You're like, oh shit, and then you move on.
You glance for a second just because that's just what we do
Yeah,
naturally, and then it's like,
but it's like everybody and
yeah,
their
it's like,
fucking mother has an OnlyFans and is doing that sort of shit. So it's like anytime you like click on that content, it's just like boom, it bombards you with it. And I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Like that's fine. Like I can handle that. Like I'm not like I don't have the temptation to be like looking at like people online all day, right?
Right.
So
Because you have shit to do.
yeah, it's fine. Like, make their money, do what you want. I don't care. I just think it's very interesting how the algorithm makes it more difficult to get rid of it than it is to view it. And that's the whole point, because it's advertising, it's networking. They want you to be addicted to whatever the fuck that you're trying to watch and listen and consume. So it's just like,
But what's
fuck.
like really just shit is that's literally everywhere. Like this shit's literally designed in a lab, and like they do the same thing with food. Like they literally design food in a lab to like make it the most addictive it could possibly be.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's like with anything. It's just this, our sensational content is just addictive as possible, bright of colors, sweetest of sugars. Like, it's just how it goes. And I think it's a testament of strength. Like, I feel like that stuff needs to be there, so like you know what not to do and what to do, because you have to
Oh yeah,
lose your
there's
way to get
always
back to it.
right. There's always value, with the choice, knowing that it's bad.
Yeah,
You know,
like I said, I don't
because it
have a
can be
problem with it.
reversed. So
I feel like it's more dangerous for younger kids because like you get exposed to that kind of content when you're younger. It's harder to break if you have a very addictive mindset or personality or genes or whatever the fuck. But past that, if you're an adult, you should be able to like, have some sort of self control or at least practice some sort of discipline to where it's not consuming your fucking life.
yeah.
'Cause like I said, everything in moderation. I feel like drinking in moderation. Porn, I think, is a little bit more difficult to manage in moderation, but you can still do it if you train yourself. I feel like it's not
We
impossible.
disagree on that. I don't think there's absolutely nothing good from porn. There's absolutely nothing.
Not objectively, but it's just what you take away from it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you can have the discipline to just pretty much make out whatever you want to. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
that
I
you
mean, just
can.
at the end of the day, I mean, just porn is so harmful for like society and like community and relationships and everything. Like it just there is nothing that it does that is good.
It also depends on what you're watching too. I feel like the type of porn that's out now is, it's like you can, any sort of fetish or desire you can think of, there's probably a video for it. So that part is probably what's not healthy. But like if you're watching just like two people having sex, I don't think that's super dangerous. But having the availability of whatever you want to view at your fingertips, and it just keeps getting more and more, then you keep, because I mean scientifically that's really the realest danger about porn, is that like it's giving people erectile dysfunction at an early
I can
age.
see that. Yeah.
So it's like it's
Right.
not good to have all that type of just fucking all that dopamine and all that all that feeling and sensation just all the time, 24/7. It's not good for
Oh yeah,
anybody.
that's terrible, and we agree on that.
But
But
yeah, but again,
going,
like regular softcore porn or like regular porn, I don't think is too bad in moderation. I feel like you have to get some sort of repression out eventually, otherwise you're gonna be a fucking like animal to society. So like again, like you have to, it just depends on how you, what you're doing and how you view it. So it's like if you feel like porn should be like your like real life relationship, I don't think that's healthy. But if you're using it as a release and it's fine and it doesn't give you erectile dysfunction and it doesn't ruin your relationship, then go for it. But if you have an addictive personality and it's clearly making it worse, then obviously it's not good. But yeah, the industry itself is not good. The fact that everybody and their mother can do it and it's getting pushed on younger and younger kids is not good. But I don't know.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like you said, like you're saying, like earlier porn and stuff like that. It's like, I mean, that's where this all started, and it's all just like because it all starts with just it's fine, and then it just becomes more and more, that's fine, that's fine, until it's like like you said, the shit that's out now, it's like what,
Well, it's like
but
with
also like the
alcohol. Like alcohol was like, obviously like it's more and more studies and more in science is going down and proving one way or the other, and obviously it's wishy washy back and forth every 5 years. But I mean,
yeah, but I
it's
mean
more
it's
readily
just
available.
right, but also it's just one of those things that like because of like the lack of modern science, like cigarettes, like we didn't really fully know what like the long-term effects of this was to not just an individual but to society as like a whole.
They did. They just covered it up. There's no like it. It wasn't like,
Well,
oh fuck.
I mean, you could believe that too, but I mean, either
They
way,
did. They
I mean,
literally paid for it. They knew the effects of it, and they're like, fuck it. Why do you think doctors were recommending it? It's not that they didn't like. Obviously, like there was a beginning point where it's like, because like we've been smoking tobacco for hundreds and thousands of years. This isn't a new drug that just came out like 200 years
I
ago.
know. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm aware of that.
Like I don't know, like the fact that you could smoke it on airplanes, the fact that you could smoke it while you're fucking pregnant, or the fact that like doctors recommend it with cigarettes, it's like that shit was not by accident.
Even so, it's just something that's not necessary.
Well, no, I don't.
That
Well,
just
again,
isn't good for it. Like it just does nothing good.
it
It
just is how you
literally
view it.
does nothing good.
If you view alcohol as an escape, it's not going to be good. But if you view it as a recreational activity that you're like, all right, I'm good, then because like for me, like I don't like the taste of most alcohol, and I very rarely drink. The only time I drink is like to have fun out with people. But like I'll get like at most I'll get like heavily buzzed or lightly drunk. But like I don't get to the point where I'm fucking stumbling or I'm throwing up, or and I also don't. I do it maybe like once a month or once every 2 months, if that. Sometimes I'll
All
have.
right.
So it's like
No, 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 no.
I have a
I
recreational view of alcohol. I don't view it as like a numbing of pain or a escape because I think everyday life is boring. Like I do it just to have fun and let loose every now and again. But I don't even drink by myself. So that's what I'm saying.
right,
It just
right.
depends on how you view it and what you do.
No, I agree with you 100% on alcohol. To a lesser extent, smoking. I think you can. There's some people that can recreational smoke. Not many, but there are some.
It's
But
worse
like,
to smoke than drink. I know that. But what I'm saying is like it's I don't know. It also depends on
yes,
how
but
addictive the shit is too.
yeah, but I agree with you 100% on like recreational drinking. But what I like, I'm like, there is no good to come from recreational porn.
What about just jerking off in general? Like you thinking about whatever, like not even watching something.
No, there's absolutely nothing good to come from that.
Well, I guess a wet dream then. Do you have wet dreams
Well, no,
since you
that
supposedly don't jerk off, quote unquote?
yeah, but you can't control that though. There's nothing you can do in that
It's
situation.
still the same type of release, and it's also like you're gonna. It might
Yes,
be
but it's
against your
not
will, but you're still gonna have it in
voluntary.
your dream.
Yeah, but that's not voluntary though.
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. So there's
It
no good that
it's
comes
not
from that.
it's not no, but that's not voluntary though. A big thing about doing that is like the actual choice to do it as opposed to telling yourself no.
You got
You
raped in your
know,
dreams. It's not consensual.
I that actually did happen to me once.
You got raped in your dream.
Yeah, I did actually like a couple nights ago.
Okay, you gotta lay this out.
Fuck.
You can't you
Um,
can't bring that up and just say no. I don't want to go on.
yeah, no, the only problem is, huh, I mean,
It's not real. It's not
it's
real.
not comfortable. The only problem is that it could actually happen.
That's why it's funny. Just fucking say it.
So a priest. It was a
No
dream.
fucking way.
Yeah, man. Kind of scared me.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Was it anybody you knew, or like a random,
No, 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 no. It was not anybody I knew.
a random person?
It was like, yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
No, it's not awesome. That is the opposite of awesome.
I it's just the irony. I love the irony of it. It's like cosmic situational irony.
I know. I knew I would have to tell you this at some point because, like, I
Oh
was
my
just like,
god. So like, did you
you
get
know,
like penetration, or did you get a little? Did he help you see heaven, or what happened?
um, the first one was not very good. It was forced. I was screaming.
Oh my god, this was a couple days ago.
Oh yeah. It is
Oh,
a dream, everybody.
bro,
I have no control over this.
you got ran by a priest in your dreams, and you were screaming. How
Yeah,
like
man.
was it like you in present day, or was it like did you see yourself as a kid? Like what?
I think it was just me now.
Like yo, bro, stop.
Pretty much.
Oh my god, that's fucking funny.
I don't understand why I had it. Like,
Is it the
it's
first time
just
you've
like,
had something like that?
I mean, not in those details. I mean, I've had other really bad dreams,
Of
but
people
like,
like assaulting you.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I never really thought about that. I mean, I've had dreams where people like are hurting me, but not in that way.
Wow. Maybe your brain's trying to tell you
Yeah.
something.
Eh,
It's like, you gotta jerk off more, otherwise you won't get raped in your dreams. That should be your tagline.
yeah.
Like,
Not a good
release
look,
me
bro.
or I'll fucking make you pay.
Not a good look, bro.
Maybe you have this deep-seated repression you never knew.
Yeah. Well, I am repressed, and I've never felt better. So,
God.
what happened to live your own life? Do whatever floats your boat.
Well, there's a line in the sand somewhere. I think.
Right. So there is morality that is inherent in our lives.
I can't get over that. I just can't.
What? What can you not get over?
The fact that like you think like none of this shit's good. Fucking you can't do any of this, but then like you just get full on slammed.
You can't control what's in a dream.
I know, that's why it's funny.
That's why, like,
It's
it's
like
not a sin. No, that's why it's not a sin if you do something bad in a
I'm
dream.
not
Because
I am not saying it's a sin to get fucking rammed in your dreams. That's not what
oh no, 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 that's not me doing the sin. That's somebody else doing the sin. That's not me.
But I know you enjoyed it. You just said you were screaming.
No, I really did not. No, but
Fuck.
I didn't. I didn't like actually like feel any of it.
I hope not.
No, I mean, it was a dream.
Did you wake up all sticky?
No, that's what I'm saying. There was none of that. So
Did it like how like did it feel like it was taking forever? Did you like wake up when it was like what?
remember, it was a dream. Like your whole perception of time is it's not the
I
same.
feel like if that point if I was like about to get fucked by a priest, I probably would wake up like a second after it happened. You're like, "Oh fuck, thank God." Literally.
I mean, I don't think it ever actually, like I think it was like going to, and then I woke up, or something like that, or that, or it just moved on to another thing in the dream. I don't remember, because you know how dreams are like loose and
Right.
stuff.
But you
Yeah,
remember screaming?
I mean, I just remember being really uncomfortable.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? Am I
Oh.
wrong? Oh, you said you have like various things that you think like you're right. Like what other things do you like think
Um fuck.
besides like the thing we talked about, which we're on the same page?
For something like this, it's not a hill I die on. I'm trying I mean it's like less and less. I just don't think that it's all around dangerous all the time. I don't like absolutes in that way. I feel like there's a way to overcome certain things where you can just do them and be fine. But I don't know if it ends up being like way more damaging. And again, like years more of science will like obviously like it has more negative than good for sure. But again, that's the whole
Hmm.
point of like doing dangerous stuff or quasi hurtful things and then being stronger out of it, or just playing with fire and being moderately okay. It's like I said, like with anything, like with alcohol or drugs or anything else, like if it doesn't consume your life or make you worse as a person. Like I'm still in a relationship. I still have a good job. I'm living. I'm not in debt or anything like that. So it's not a big effect on my life. I'm not getting erectile dysfunction, but I also really don't
Hey,
do it that often anymore. So, but
you never know.
you never know. It could end up being more worse. I mean, it could end up being worse. I mean,
Well, I mean,
you think there's
I'll
somebody in the '60s that jerked off their whole life every day and see what he's like in his '80s, but you never know.
right, but I mean, it's basically just it's more like just like just the more that you just stop doing it, which I can't even remember the last time it was. It's just like the thought of doing it. It's like you're like what? Like why? Like why would I even need to? Like a lot of people, that overcome like alcohol addiction like this. Like why would I even like need like a shot, or like why would I even need a beer? Like
I think for something like this, it's different because it's more natural process. I feel like the people that are addicted to alcohol have a sense of, like I said, it is more of a sense of escape. And addiction to porn, it's more of like it's more instinctual than drinking alcohol, right? So it's like sexuality is something that most humans feel, right? Whether it's,
Yeah, but in that way, that is very not natural.
well, it depends on whoever you talk to. What I'm saying is like the feeling of sexuality and like attraction and wanting that urge is a natural
Oh,
feeling.
that yes, but like
But there's
doing
no
it to like
natural urge for alcohol. It's because like you're just fucking are depressed, or you have some sort of wire cross, or you just have an addictive personality, or you have escape, or you're whatever the case may be. You don't have like this
well, no,
primal need to drink
not
alcohol.
right, not necessarily alcohol, but there is like that desire, for like the dopamine and
Yeah.
everything.
Also, there is more evidence that sexual oppression does a lot of harm as well. Like the people that end up being
Yep.
like rapists and all that shit. So it's like there has to be some sort of safe and healthy release for it, and it might not be with porn, but it has to be with someone in general. Or like, it's one of those things where it's like it's more harmful if not. It's like if you have a superpower and you don't know how to use it, it's more dangerous than you using it moderately, or like you knowing the consequences of how you use it. That's kind of, I guess, what I can relate it to, because it's something that you have inside you, and if you repress it all the way, I don't think it's good. But if you let it control your life and that's what you do all the time, I don't think it's good either. So it just, you have to have a strong mindset, and you have to, weigh the consequences of your actions.
Oh, I mean, it's worked wonders for me. So, and I know plenty of other people the same way. And like
What?
also a lot of those studies, and like you mentioned this, the smoking, like a lot of this is done by people who are paid a shit ton of money to for people that like, they want them to say what they want to say, and it's like they're not actually necessarily doing science.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're talking about, but I feel like, so like, if like, let's just say in the context of like in like you getting married, right? So you're not watching porn and jerking off, but like you're gonna have sex with your wife, and I guess for you, is it only to have kids, or like you're not gonna like wear, you're not gonna like. I guess some, it just depends on who you're talking to, but some religious people
It's
like they
not,
don't
but
believe in
well, no,
contraception,
well, yeah, I don't, but
so it's
well,
like you're
because
only gonna
it's
have sex to have kids, right?
no, I mean you have it to feel good, but it's like you have to do it in knowledge that you're gonna have a kid afterwards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, in the context for you, like, the only time where it's healthy is if you're having sex with your wife that you're married to, and you're only gonna have a kid. Like, you can't like have sex and not have a kid
But
from
like,
it. Is that you?
yeah, no, but there's also like it might not necessarily like because you don't necessarily there's not like a kid doesn't necessarily come out every single time. You know.
What I'm saying is like you're gonna finish inside of her every time you do have sex, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting at. Like, you're having sex
I
to
see.
have a
Yeah.
kid is
Yeah.
what you is the context that is only the way you're gonna do it.
Yeah, man. I want babies.
But that's what I'm. So you're gonna fuck like once a year, and after 8 years, it's gonna be like, oh fuck.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you could do it multiple times, and then like there's only one baby. You know.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. The act of you doing it, knowing that it's very unlikely to have another baby, isn't that the same kind of context?
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
So, like, if you were to, like, if, like I said, let's say you had sex with your wife, you're married, and you have your first child, and after that first child, you're like, fuck, I don't want to have another kid right now, but I also don't not want to have sex. So it's like you're not gonna wear a condom, but you're gonna not finish in her, or just not have sex at all.
Um, Either not do it at all, or just you know you could get lucky, and it's a time where it's just not on the full. Like the cycle isn't. I don't know, I forgot how that works, but it's something to do with that. Like
Yeah,
the
so
menstrual cycle and stuff like that. It's because like you won't necessarily get pregnant every time you do it. So
so if it's out of your control, fine, but you're not gonna actively stop. You're not
no,
gonna
but
try
I'm
to not
I'm
have it.
pretty sure. Don't quote me because I actually need to double check on this. I'm pretty sure you are allowed to like time it so that it isn't, but I can't be 100% sure. Don't take my word on
In
that.
the what context are you talking about? Like in religion or in science?
No, yeah, in religion, not. I mean, in science, it's just whenever you do it.
I have no idea, dude. I have met so many different people that have told me fucking different shit of what they believe in it. Like there's people that just don't have sex outside of marriage, but if they're married, they can do whatever the fuck they want. I've heard people say what you're saying, where it's like if you have sex and you use contraception or you actively stop trying to have a baby, it's a sin. But if it's outside of your control, then whatever. And then some people just are saying they have sex with their partner, but they're not married, but they just repent for it. So I don't know. It's different with every fucking person you talk to. I don't think it makes a difference, but again,
I
whatever.
mean, well, oh, sorry. Well, I mean, I'm just doing the best I can to just tell you what the teaching is, because obviously I can't speak from personal experience because there's no experience. There's no experience here, ladies and gentlemen. But that's just what I'm trying to do.
You have some experience.
You're saying I will have some experience?
No, I'm saying you've had experience.
No, I have not.
Yes, you have.
No, I have not. I'm talking about with the actual like thing itself.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I have with other stuff related to it, but not that specific thing.
I feel like if you didn't have such a bad experience, it would probably be a different mindset. But
Yeah, man,
again,
that was shit.
I wish I could fucking say it more than anything in the world. But
Yeah, no, we are not talking about that shit.
regardless, um,
Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, the point of the story is that Will is sexually repressed, which is true, but Will feels 10 out of 10, sometimes 11 out of 10 because of it.
but like, is there a specific teaching saying like if you're married, like you can't fuck to have pleasure, like you have to? Because like I've heard people say like wifely duties as like a you gotta blow me kind of thing.
No, you can't do that.
Where is it? Where is that? Is that explicitly saying, or is that just like a a nice little parable that people have now turned that like what is the line? Like, do you know the
Oh
line?
no, I'm pretty sure there's a part in the Catechism of the Catholic Church that like it addresses like acts like that outside of like the main act. It's just because like you're just defeating the actual purpose of it.
We know like contraception is a no, and then I guess be fruitful and multiply. But I don't. I'm not talking about like okay. I guess like not in the act of like doing other stuff besides just like intercourse. So it's like if you just do that, but you just like pull out and shoot on her stomach, and you just are lucky enough, and you just keep not getting pregnant until you want to have another kid. Like I don't know.
No, because I mean this is like what we're made for, and it's like if you just do that at the last second, it's like, man, what the fuck? Like I have a friend who did that, and he just like, man, like I didn't feel good afterwards. Like it's like I was like waiting my whole fucking life for this. Like really?
Well, it just depends. Like if I don't like for me like I don't want kids, so it's like the fact of finishing in somebody scares me more than not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I guess we're the complete opposite. I want like at least four.
Well, I mean, not saying I never want kids, but like right now, I'm not in the place to have a kid, so like having one
No,
would
right?
fuck
No,
my life up
right,
right
but
now.
like we're still the opposite because like I want kids now. Like I
Well,
totally want
no,
like a
I want
son.
kids eventually, but I'm saying like right now, if I have one, I'm fucked. So like I'm not in the
Yeah,
position to have a child right now, so that's why like if I'm not wearing a condom, it's like nerve wracking. It like anxieties me more. But again,
yeah.
if I like was married and wanted to have a kid, then yeah, like that act would be more significant and it would probably feel really good. But again, you don't want to do that every fucking time.
Do you think you'll ever be married?
Yeah, eventually.
Okay.
I don't like again like my view on like the government getting involved with your marriage and just the actual implications legally it comes with it. That's totally separate from like like you like because like all it is a ceremony. Like with all the paperwork and bullshit, it's a ceremony. So it's like you do the ring, you say the vows, you do the fucking shit, and then bam, you're married, and you're. It doesn't even take a day. It takes a fucking hour maybe. You know what I mean? Like it's not very significant of a ritual. It's a fucking you know
How religious it is.
what I'm saying is it's not a fucking grueling process in the Western world. There's some other religions where you do some crazy shit to prove yourself to get married, but like in our culture
Well, yeah,
as a whole,
definitely.
it takes a fucking day. It takes months of planning, but the actual part itself is really quick. So it's like you don't really have to do fucking too much about it. You just pay. You spend more money than anything. It's like if you have money, then you're ever gonna have a great wedding.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm not looking forward
Yeah,
to.
so fuck all that bullshit. But yeah, the actual like act of being married and having a partner and like your soulmate, yeah, that's all well and good.
Because I mean that is a very natural part of being human,
Yeah, I mean
and
it's
also just being
courtship.
like also just being like a living thing. That's just like how most animals operate too.
Yeah, you gotta have people in your corner, and I don't know. Like I said, there's people that have been, they've been dating for 7 years, and like the girlfriend's pressuring them to get married, right? They get married, nothing fucking changes. They still live together. They still do the same shit. They still fuck each other every day. Like objectively, nothing changes, but the actual mental part changes. Like you either be more connected or you hate each other more. It just depends.
Nice. So that's why you gotta make sure you're doing this with a fucking person, is gonna be worth it.
Exactly, and that to me is the most important part. Like fuck you being actually like ceremonially married, or if you've been dating for years and years and you never actually go through with the marriage part, right? Like it's the same thing to me. Like you're not
No,
different
don't
people.
don't fuck the ceremonial thing.
What I'm saying is like
Because
it
like I
makes
mean,
no difference. It really like
yeah, but I mean, no, but the whole point of like being married, I mean, it's a mark on your soul. Like once you're married, you can't be unmarried.
unless you have power.
Well, no, you're still married. That's why divorce is not permitted.
That's a big contract if you think about it. It's a afterlife
Well,
long
yeah,
contract.
it is. Well, no, it's till death do us part. So if you're a widow or a widower, you can get remarried.
Is that why people kill their wives?
Oh, that is definitely why people used to kill their wives.
Huh. I wonder. Is there a
Yeah.
silver lining or not? I wonder if it should matter. That's where you ask yourself, should it matter if people go to that far of length? That's what makes you think.
um,
It really does.
yeah, but that's why I'm gonna make sure it's not gonna be the person I want to kill for the other person. I just want to make sure it's the person who I'd just rather be with.
You can't 100% definitively say that it's not going to happen. Like you can date somebody for 4 years, and the fifth year they're a total bitch and they switch up on you. Maybe their
Um,
hormones.
I'm not saying that that's like I'm not closed off to that. That's probably is gonna happen. I'm sure it's gonna be trial and error, but it's like
How can it be trial and error if you're fucking permanently married
no,
forever until you die?
like with dating though.
But that's what I'm saying is like you can get deep into the relationship and shit can just flip on a dime.
Yeah, but that's what those situations are like necessary though, and that's what really creates that really long lasting love. Because like obviously like the honeymoon, like it's gonna wear off. Like the good feelings, like the warm tingly feeling, like they're gonna go away. I mean, it's inevitable, but it's like the value in it is just it's staying together.
I'm talking about you
You
guys like
know,
fucking hating each other, not going through like a natural pulling away process. Like you guys fucking like gonna murder each other.
and you work it out. I don't know what else to say. That's why you got to be careful with this, and it's not just like it's. I mean, it's serious.
Which is why you should
It's
never
like
get married.
nope. That's why you got to be really fucking. You got to understand like what's the point of being married, who it is you're being married to. You know, what are you gonna do with this marriage?
Sometimes I wish like I was like asexual. I wish I didn't have like I I can think of every time in my life. Now actually, now that we're on this topic and I spent an hour saying, "Oh, this is natural and good." If I really think about it, I wish that like I didn't need like I wish I didn't have the need to like feel companionship. I wish I could just like not have that urge because I feel like every major setback in my life has been because of that. That
You mean like companionship in a relationship kind of way?
Yeah, or a friendship. Like
Ah,
so like
okay.
I wish
Well,
I
you,
could just be content by myself. And like I can just be sociable so it's like I can still have a good social life, but like at the end of the day I come home to myself and that's all I got to worry about. Like I wish that was the case. And I feel like the more you grow in consciousness, the more you learn to love the silence, and you learn to love yourself and just grow mentally and spiritually as a person, and you rely on less people. So,
Yeah, I mean that's more or less me. I mean the only people I rely on is my family, you know,
but
and, like no one else.
they're gonna be gone one day.
Well, exactly, but that's why I'm working now, because like I know they're not going to be here forever,
Yeah.
you know. So that's why I'm working because like I know eventually, I'm gonna have the little boy and little girl, So gotta make sure I'm ready, because it's like when you hear about like soldiers and stuff about how like we just like human beings like we have this innate thing to like we got to prepare for the battle,
Mm.
like you got to prepare for like that's why like they like all these military units like or like the army and navy they start training like years in advance, like months in advance. I don't know how, but it's a long period of time before they actually get deployed because like you know you gotta be prepared, and being prepared is not easy. It doesn't take it's not a short process. It's a very long, grueling process. But I mean, you got to be prepared because like you're gonna have to face the trials of life. Sometimes it might be in the battlefield, or it'll just be being a responsible parent in a blue collar or a white collar regular job. You know.
I think that just applies just to setting you up to survive the world, and you can apply that to any context that's a difficult task.
Yeah, but I just thought that was interesting. When like I would hear people talk about that, how like you know like the reason like I don't know if you know Jocko Willink.
No, I don't.
He's this guy I used to be into. Like I don't really watch any of those guys anymore just because I have stuff to do now. Like I just took what they said and I actually did it. I don't need to like just rely on their advice anymore. Um, and like just be stuck in the rabbit hole. But he would just talk about like people would ask him like, why do you wake up at 4 a.m. every day? And he's like, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day because there's an enemy, and if I get up before him, I've beat him. Like I've won the first battle of the day because your whole day is just made up of battles, really.
Yeah, and there's something that
And the
gets up for
more
free. Like, I feel like sometimes like it has more of an adverse effect if you feel like you have to constantly
oh
compete with
yeah,
yourself against this, unknown enemy all the time, or the fear
I
to
mean the
miss
unknown
out.
enemy, right? I mean the unknown enemy is really just the devil.
I mean, if that's the case,
It's
then
just
that
that it's just that subconscious voice in your head telling you just telling you like what you want to hear. Like, no, you're fine, you don't need to do this. Like, just and obviously that isn't always the devil. I don't think that we're robots and we need to just be these super productive like warrior people. And then like no, I mean obviously I'm a big leisure guy. I love relaxing. I love just chilling at the guitar store and talking to you guys or just playing my music, reading a book, you know.
yeah, I mean that's you just need the balance, and that's the one thing with this type of content that I've never agreed with. Like, I think it's good to motivate people to achieve things, whether that's in their life, relationships, money, job, whatever the fuck.
Right, because
But
achievements and like goals really are like what makes someone satisfied
I think it's
at the end of
disingenuous.
their life, you
Yeah,
know.
I think it's disingenuous to think or to just push this narrative that like you have to do constant work, otherwise you've got overtaken. I feel like that's why like
Oh, right. No, that's terrible.
the most successful businesses are psychotic in that way, where it's constant work, constant grind, constant way to make things more efficient, make things cheaper, fuck more people over, like just not climb, more like claw your way to the top. So it's just toting that psychotic CEO
They're
mentality, and
all sociopathic
yeah,
people like in those companies. I mean, that's why they do so well because they just have people that are
right.
just rigorous and just insane in like their routine and what they do
But
and like
but see, that's the
yeah.
myth, right? So it's like you think like, oh, the most successful people on the planet are that way, but it's like there's so many other successful people that aren't that way, and like they're successful. Like they don't have to be they don't have to make billions of dollars. Like they can be a millionaire and have a good mindset. Like you know what I mean? Like not everybody has to fucking do their work that way. That's the thing I think is disingenuous. Like you can be successful in a plethora of different ways and just being a psychotic suit wearer. Like there's fucking
Definitely. I
so
mean,
much other shit
people.
you can do.
Well, right, because like being successful. doesn't just mean you have like millions of dollars and you have a yacht and you have like three houses. It's like being successful just means could just literally be like, man, like I got my life together. I started a family and like I got a nice job, like nothing special, but like I did it. I thought I was never gonna make it. Like that's I would consider that person successful.
Yeah, or
You
the
know? I
people
mean,
that like that say like like they fucking go to college, they become a fucking lawyer or a software engineer or whatever. They make 400 grand a year. They can fucking pretty much buy like if they don't buy a mansion, like they can live comfortably and go on trips and buy any fucking thing they want. They can pretty much buy whatever nice car they want, minus like the millions of dollar Ferrari, Maserati, Bugatti, all that bullshit, right? But like you
yeah.
can get a fucking really nice Jeep, a fucking sick ass truck, or like a mid tier sports car, or like a Bentley or something, or not a Bentley, like a I don't know, a fucking Porsche. Let's say Porsche. A lot of like not millionaires, but a lot of money guys drive Porsches. So stuff like that. Like you can
Yeah.
be successful and not make millions of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I'm fine with having a Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
I'll be fine living in like some whatever house just as long as there's enough space.
I mean, yeah, it's what
And
you
like I'll
whatever you value. My point is just you fucking like I hate this idea that you have to do this constant grind and like disappreciation for everything around you just to succeed. It's a
yeah,
fucking
that's stupid.
it's not
And like I
healthy.
think most people really do know that. It's just because those people have the luxury of telling those people,
But
what that stuff because like just they are able to say it and they know that people will buy it.
well, most of
So
the time they got lucky. Like they don't tell you like you have to have a lot of money to start, and you have to get somewhat amount of lucky. Like you can fucking win the lottery and become successful, right? So it's like
right, yeah,
most of those
yeah,
people are
because
gonna
having a
fucking
lot of
grind. They're also lying. Most of them are
right,
just they're not genuine about how much they actually make or what their net worth is or what they actually own and what their rent. Like you know what I mean? Like they're not even.
that too, yeah. But I mean, yeah, because like you said, like a lot of people like how much money like you were born into, like you obviously probably had to grind some, but not as much as someone who was born into like a different like a different family and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think like
Yeah.
the guy that's like obviously like you've heard all the shit about like Andrew Tate. He's like probably the most popular figurehead for that kind of content now.
I still don't really get the hype.
I
I
mean,
mean, he's got some good takes, but like I'm like I can't really see like I just can't really think of it. Um, sorry, I can't think of a situation where someone else hasn't like already said this. Like he's not that like original in what he's saying.
I think it's just the entertainment. Like I feel like he's the most entertaining because like most of the guys that like tout that
Oh,
shit,
yeah,
like
I like him. He seems like a cool guy.
they sell you this lifestyle, and most of it's like, oh, if you buy my course, you can have this lifestyle, or it's just like some black dude in his truck being like, yo, you can fucking make it if you succeed and grind and all. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
obviously white people do that shit too. I'm not trying to stereotype, but
Oh
you
right,
know, you
yeah.
get what I'm saying, right? It's just that mentality, that fucking
Yeah,
fast.
because like white, yeah, I feel it's like white people. It's just like you could definitely have the lifestyle of living in the
Yeah,
mansion,
yeah.
having
White people are
steak
trying
dinner
to,
every night, and having all of these women at your mansion. It's like shut the
yeah.
fuck up.
White people are trying to sell you a fucking crypto course, and then these black people are trying to like tell you how to get women.
Literally,
But
yeah.
all the dumb shit aside, yeah, I think like for him because I think it's just more entertaining the way he says it, and he's less
Yeah.
annoying about pushing his. Obviously, he has his bullshit course where you pay him thousands of dollars and you can get access to all this other fucking nonsense that may or may not help you, whatever.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
I
it's
don't know.
just it's all a lack of Jesus.
Well, he's heavily Christian. Like he'll like
Ooh,
Andrew Tate. Like every time he'll, and I don't know what sex, so regardless. But like every time, like he says everything with purpose. Um,
I mean, I
a
think he has
warrior
some.
under God.
Yeah, right. No, that's great, but I think he has some shit takes.
Well, yeah. I mean, every the dude.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, yeah, right, exactly. Like you can't expect everyone to have all 100% good takes, but
I don't know. I find him entertaining. I'm not listening for advice.
oh, yeah, he's a cool guy. He's an interesting figure.
I
I
think that's
liked
the
his thing on like Piers Morgan where he just like completely shit all over. That was funny.
yeah. I love when those guys go on like a news network or just interviewers that are not prepared to handle this caliber of person, other than people that are just programmed to say the things that they're supposed to say on script or whatever the popular narrative is. So, like, they don't know how to handle these kind of guys. It's really funny to watch them just play
Yeah.
gymnastics with them. So that part's entertaining. But my problem is just like the idea that somebody is dangerous because you have to be influenced by them. Like, this idea that we have to be influenced by every person we listen to is just stupid. And it's easier for kids because kids are easily impressionable. So when they listen to somebody talk, they pretty much, they either associate it with, I have to be exactly like this person, or I hate this person. Like, that's kind of the two roads that it goes down. There's no kind of middle road with kids, and that gap kind of widens as you get older. But
I still am of the opinion that at the end of the day, our thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are still products of, not in a bad way, but are products of the people around us.
of course, but you can still understand and realize that. You don't have to go like through life like, oh fuck, I'm influenced all the time by people around me. Like, you can still take that in your own direction.
Oh, sure. Right.
Everybody is biased, and everybody, like,
Absolutely.
you can't have, like, nobody has original thoughts. Like, you think of something, somebody's probably thought it before. Like, very
Definitely.
few
There's
shit is
7
original.
billion people in the world.
Yeah, like, somebody has had to have said it or done it before. So it's like it's
Oh,
very
right.
hard to be
E-
original. And I get that, like, it's
exactly.
it's it's also hard to take reverence in other people's words because most of the time they have ulterior motives. So that's why you're supposed to take the stuff that applies to your life and leave out the rest, because you can, like, somebody can give you a bad idea and you can find a way to apply that to your life and it might make it work for you. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so
Possibly.
much
Yeah.
shit you can think about differently. It's just, that's why I hate this absolute idea where it's like you listen to a shitty take that someone has and you think, oh, this idea is dangerous. Is like, yeah, if you think about it like that, but if you like take it in a new direction, then you might have totally flipped it. You never
Yeah,
know.
like Catholicism, you know?
Whatever it is.
Catholicism, dude.
Yeah, you can take the messages and then do whatever you want with them. It doesn't have to be for fucking Batum, and it doesn't have to be like the guy that told you it said how it had to be. Like, it just doesn't. You fucking are your own. Like, I feel like if you understand that you can be influenced by people around you, but you're also your own person, and it's a tandem of both that makes it work, then you figured it out. Like, you can't be totally original, and you can't totally rely on everybody around you. Like, it's just not
I
possible.
mean, yeah, because I mean, that's like really what I get from Catholicism. Because I think Catholicism really just kind of like it really just like illuminates the human person and like brings out like everything that's like good in us. Like it's like when I was at the Catholic school I went to for 2 years, like I really felt like it brought out this desire to learn, and like and it just and it brought out this desire in me to like pick up hobbies, like because like they did a really good job at like showing how everything was important, like playing sports and doing math and like theology class, or like the actual lunchtime and like interacting with your friends and stuff like that. It just showed you how everything is important, and there's no like you don't need that, you don't need that. And it's like that gets later in life, like when you actually are, learning a trade or studying for your masters and stuff like that. But really, when you're a kid, like you really need that because you need that broad perspective of the world around you. And that's why I'm never like, oh, like we don't like math past fourth grade is useless. It's like, no, you really do need it because it just gives you a broader perspective of the world, and that's always important. And there's nothing bad that comes from that.
If you learn it correctly, I feel like the people that don't understand it, they're not going to be taught ever the right way or the way that'll make it useful to their life. You either just have to get it or you don't, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Because there's no way, if you don't, like, not very many people that don't understand math ever learn to understand it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you either like kind of struggle, then you eventually like know the general gist of it. But like, if you have no concept of higher math past like the basic shit like fractions and decimals and statistics, but like shit like formulas, if you like, very few people can understand how a formula correlates to real life. There's people that can memorize how to do a formula and solve a problem, but there's very few people that like understand it conceptually, right? That very few people have that understanding. I wouldn't say
right.
very
And a
few
lot of
people. I would
this is
say less
just
people than the majority have that understanding. So it's like, for the people that don't have that understanding, there's no way they're ever going to learn. Or
Well, right, and that's why I just think there's a big problem with like secular modern education is that like people and like Elon Musk even he even commented on this. He just thinks like when kids are taught something and they're not actually like taught why they're learning something, like it's not going to motivate you to want to learn it, right? But like at Catholic school, they go, like in the beginning of the year, they go over like like why is this subject important and like what like why is it that we are learning this? Like what can we get from this? What is like the ultimate end? How does this work in relationship with God? How does this work with the with relationship to others and stuff like that?
yeah,
I just think there's a lot more. Like it really changed the way that I thought about education and certain subjects, and like even math in general, because um a lot of people confuse like science and math with like objective truth, which isn't really what it is, because like science is essentially just it's physical observations that like you make, well sorry, it's observations you make in the physical world that you can deduce is pretty much true with like a 99.9% chance that it's like accurate.
yeah.
So it's pretty, it's a pretty good source of like, yeah, if you see what I'm saying. But it's like it's truth with like a cap with a lowercase t. Like science and math are truth in the sense that it's like these are just observations that you can make, it can be tested, and that's how you prove it. Whereas like truth with the capital T is like tradition and like the church and like the Bible, because that stuff comes from God, and they're very two different things. They're both truth, you know. One is like the Bible is true, and your physics textbook is pretty much true too. They're just like because truth cannot contradict truth, right? They're just true in like different ways than you thought they were,
Well,
because even if they're the same word,
most of the time they're not even related. I don't think people. I mean, I guess like they use like I guess the only example I can think of is like the Big Bang versus creationism. That's like a big debate. So it's like using physics to prove that kind of shit. But again, like I said, because the fact that like less the majority of the population, especially in this dumb fucking country, myself included, that has no understanding of
myself
this.
included.
Yeah, myself included, that has no understanding of this concept. Just in general, like it's hard to figure out which one's true or not. And I honestly, I don't know. Like there's some times where it's like I want to understand that all of the absolute truths, whether it's proven or because like the whole point of science is it's supposed to be tentative. Like it's not supposed to be absolute, but like you just have to find something that disproves it with a shit ton of evidence and conviction that makes sense before the other one. And there's not that many. I mean, Elon Musk has a lot of shitty takes, and it's disappointing that somebody like him is one of the richest men in the world because like he has so much ambition, but he's also has a lot of stupid fucking ideas. And like I feel like there's a lot of better people that were in his position that could do a better job than he's doing. So he's like frustrating and also inspiring in the same aspect. Like he's done a lot of cool shit, but also just has a lot of dumb fucking takes on things, and he fucks with the stock market, and it irritates me that he fucks with the stock market because he's not good at it. He just has a shit ton of money, and that's why he thinks he's good, but he's not good at it, and I hate it. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
my
I
my
agree
brother.
with
Sorry.
I agree with the sentiment that if you don't understand why you're learning something, you shouldn't be taught it. And I've always felt that growing up in school, like I never could get a clear understanding of why I was learning certain topics, and it frustrated the hell out of me, especially when I didn't understand the topic and I couldn't learn it, and the teachers couldn't explain it to me in a way that made sense in my head. Not saying I had this untapped fucking, prodigy mindset that I could understand and unlock the world if I had better teachers. I just, just in general, like you could tell that like most of what you learn in school was pretty much not right. Besides like the objective formulas in math, like if you learn a formula for algebra or physics, it probably was right. You know what I mean? But like history was pretty much wrong. English is subjective, so whatever. Um, what else? Fucking, we didn't learn anything useful for the real world. At least I did because I actually took the classes, but they weren't mandatory. So I was fortunate. My class said we had home ec, we had economics, so you could learn how to do taxes. Even people bitch about that. We had auto shops, so you could learn how to work on cars. We had
Oh yeah, you told me that.
we
Yeah.
had architectural and engineering drafting, so you could do that if you wanted. So there's resources my school had that were generally useful, and they're probably all gone now because anything that's actually useful, they don't want to fund.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of resources in school that I use, and there's some I should have used more. But in general, the standard like fucking courses I had to take were useless as fuck. They really were.
I see. I didn't feel that about a single class my senior year.
Like they were useful at all.
All of them were useful.
All of them were.
I, I couldn't think of a single class. I was like, yeah, I don't need that. Like, no, I needed all of it. Because it's like with math, it was more just like it was more discovering how the physical world works according to our observations. Like how can you explain, like the sensation of like a parabola, like how does that work, like what is the numbers behind that, what's going on there, like with English it's like a lot of it was like reading Shakespeare or other novels written in the English language and understanding English culture and like the origins of like English literary traditions and things like that and like what kind of things did like the English speaking peoples like what did they think was funny, what did they think was engaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you just learn a lot about like culture and history with that and especially in history, and a lot of it was like well, it ended in World War II, but a lot of it leading up to that was like Henry VIII going to like Napoleon, all that stuff, like in the transformation into the modern world. Physics was really cool, just I mean obviously it was hard, but it
What is
was
the highest math
cool
that
to,
you've taken?
the highest math I ever took was advanced math.
So, like, what did you do?
It was essentially kind of like algebra. It was essentially like algebra
Was
three,
it
if
like
that's a thing.
pre-calc or anything like calculus?
No, because that's the next above. I never even got to pre-calc,
Okay, so just highest form of algebra before pre-calc.
more or less.
Got it.
It's all yeah. It's like the most advanced mathematical concepts without calculus, essentially.
Yeah. Is it
Like got
that's
some. What's up?
I say that's the thing that's interesting. So it's like you mentioned like a parabola, right? Like I find the concept of like a point that infinitely goes in two directions for all of time, and then you're supposed to find the actual curve of that, and then you can accurately represent it with a formula. Like I don't get how that's useful, and I wish I did because I find the concept of like parabolas and spirals and all that shit
I mean it.
geometrically interesting, but like I don't get how it correlates with anything else, and it's frustrating.
I mean it's just cool.
But
I
that's
mean
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying.
it. I
Like
mean
what? Like what?
yeah, but a lot of it I'm just like, why does it have to be so like utilitarian? Like there's a lot you can take from that.
Because it's supposed to have a purpose. It's not supposed to be there to be cool. You know what I mean? Like it has a functional
No,
purpose
but
outside of.
it it does, but it doesn't necessarily need to be like a thing. And I know this isn't necessarily what you're saying, but a lot of people they're like they think that they're like there needs to be some like way I can apply this to like get a promotion or like get a job or like get this the more and more and more. It's like no, like it's like just sit down and just roll with it,
No,
and you
yeah.
get a lot from it.
For me, I guess like so like for that example as a parabola, it's like I don't think if I understood what a fucking parabola is and how that can function to a formula, if that would fucking help me in real life. What I'm saying is that like the fact that I don't understand it is frustrating, and I don't know what its use is. I don't know what its function is. I don't know how practical it could be. I don't know if it could make me change my mindset about something if I understand a universal secret just from correlating numbers to a fucking shape. You know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that. Obviously, there's I like if I like let's say if I Google right now like what is the purpose of a parabola? Let's see what it says because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah,
What?
I mean, I'm sure you would need it in like some engineering or something like
Well,
that.
yeah, outside of a technical context, that's what I'm saying. Is there a use? Let's see.
It's
What
it's
is
pretty. You could use it in art. I mean, there's tons of things. Just make it your own, I guess.
parabola?
Horabara.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like stuff like this has like spiritual meanings and things. Like,
Right, but that's what I don't like about secular modern education is because all that's ripped from it, and it's all just like Like this is the yeah. It's like there's no like enthusiasm in it. There's no like you said, there's no spirituality in it. There's no like greater purpose. It's just this boring, sterile nothingness.
Well, in the purpose of a parabola, it's a little bit more concrete. So it has a. It can be used
Yeah.
from
What?
headlight reflectors, design of ballistic missiles, TV, anything with like a reflection
Ah,
is parabolic. So you
nice.
can actually use a bunch of stuff with it. So I wish I did understand a parabola because I probably can invent some pretty cool shit or improve the TV or improve the fucking car headlight or do something with music reflection from an antenna. I don't fucking know. So if I learned in school if let's say and fuck geometry, fuck physics, fuck I mean obviously it's all related. That's bad examples. Fuck history, fuck English, fuck all that shit. If I spent 8 years of my life, so middle school and high school, if I spent those 8 years learning all I could learn about a parabola, and I finally, and that all it took was 8 years for me to understand it, then I can't imagine what I'd be able to do if I just had that understanding of how a parabola works, if I was to apply it to something in a everyday life. So that's why I think it should be more specialized in that way, so as opposed to just browsing over topics and you don't know fucking why you're learning it, to just taking one very important thing like that and then you'll God knows how far you can take it.
Definitely. I mean, yeah. I mean, for me, because like the high school I went to, I mean, it just gave me that really good foundation, and it just gave me like the ability to take this and like, everything I've learned and just apply it to my real life. Not necessarily just directly, you know, but just just give me that perspective of the world, and now I can apply that to the world. Because like just after high school, you really do just go out into the world.
Yeah, and it's really the experience. I think more and
Yeah,
more people are starting to realize the
personal.
experience. Is
Yeah, personal experience is probably the most important factor that like determines what your thoughts and beliefs are.
yeah,
Really, I mean, because it's like you can give me like any scientific study about different workout things and different like diets. I'm like, I mean, this works for me. I mean, it could work for you, but that's why like a lot of people when they ask me about certain like what do I need to do to get to this or that, I'm like, a lot of it really is just trial and error,
yeah,
and just like you need to see how you work for this.
yeah. I mean and that's why I don't like people just saying one thing has to happen a certain way or a set few certain ways because we really are just fucking different, and it's even to the point where it's difficult for us to even express.
Yeah, man.
Because like I'll have all those thoughts in my head, and then we'll talk on this form, and it's just like it's not even near the depth of what I'm even thinking. So I just that's just
Brains are very complicated.
and that's why I wish we could unlock more of it. I wish we're not going through this revolution in our lifetimes of just nothing but damage and numbness and just awful shit. Like we're not a progressing society. We're not going into the future. We're going
You don't
back.
need to go in the future.
I feel like you have to. You have to evolve into something that's a better version of what you were previously. And I feel like it's hard to.
No, right. You do evolve, you do like grow, but you don't like it's not just you don't just need to grow just to grow.
Why not?
It's like well because it's like what is this used for? I mean it's like developing like more weapons that it's like it just we just kill each other faster,
Well, that's my point.
Like
That's not a
it's always
progressive.
a good thing.
That's not a
Yeah, but I mean
useful.
the tools are more the tool no, but also like industrialization, like it made everything more efficient, but it's like it seems to make everyone more depressed.
Again, it's what you value. What I'm saying is like there's clear, deliberate things and forces in this world that keep people from evolving and growing for a reason. I don't think the genuine interest for people that control the majority of wealth across the planet want everybody to be evolved and conscious as a species. It's just not in their general interest. Addiction and work is their main focus, and sickness,
Hey,
codependency, depression, and work. That's what their values are. So yes,
You
I
can.
feel like you have to constantly grow, otherwise you will get left behind and you'll kill yourself. Because that's just how our world is. So if you're not doing that, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Oh no, yeah. As an individual, yes, you do.
Yeah.
You always need to look for the new thing that you can do to like better yourself.
Yeah.
But I just mean like overall, like as like a society. I guess that's more what what I was referring to.
You're saying society doesn't have to keep progressing?
Well, I mean in like certain trends and like certain different like updates and things like that. It's like like I mentioned with the industrialization, making everything like 10 times more efficient. We have like unlimited choice. It's like that's not necessarily a good thing.
But not a lot of it's good choice.
Well, right, exactly. Like it's not like yeah, but like a lot of people view like this unlimited choice as just like this. It's just like this inherent good. Like there's nothing bad that can come from it. It's like there's quite a bad that can come from it. It's quite a bad that can come from a lot of different things. I mean, it's like there's quite a lot of bad that comes from just human beings, because like the fall of man with Adam and Eve. Like God knows everything that's gonna happen. There's a lot of risk involved when he made the worlds, but it's like he knew at the end of the day that we can be saved, or else like why would he have made us?
Well, if you put a cosmic purpose to it, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing.
Well, no, what I'm saying, like, if you're putting like a cosmic purpose, then your goal to be to just continue to grow as quick as you can. And I mean, the society doesn't work on a cosmic purpose. Like, that's just not how it works these days. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, industrialization has been. It's the creation of everything that we have today, the good and the bad. So that's the whole
Oh
point of
yeah.
getting everything to the point of growth and keep evolving and progressing is like you just flush out the mistakes and you continue to iron out and make things more efficient, but not like efficient in like a profitable sense, efficient in like a quality of life sense. It makes
Yeah, but
things.
that doesn't always make people, doesn't always make like better people. Doesn't always make more virtuous people. Doesn't always make more like grateful people. It doesn't necessarily mean that these people just cuz like they have a higher standard of living are going to, like I said, be better people. Be,
That's why you need to
like cuz
individually grow. Like you have. That's what I'm saying. The whole entire ecosystem needs to be fucking evolved. Like you as people, and then us as a society, and us as an industrial civilization. Everything needs to work in tandem.
well, you need to like you need to take what your forefathers taught you and you need to continue that. And like you need to know like you need to like learn and grow and learn why it's necessary, and you need to like embrace like your bloodline and like what you come from and like your family, and like then eventually making the new family and continuing everything, the circle of life.
Yeah, I mean that's still part of the evolutionary process. I'm just saying in this society, whether it's religious or secular, I think it's all meant to de-evolve us. Like I don't think we're ever going to progress pretty much any farther than we already are right now.
Well,
Like
yeah, I mean, do we really need anything more? That's
yeah,
why it's so corrupt. I mean, there's
we do.
nothing.
We need a lot more. We need so much. We need so much help. We need to undo all this bullshit that we've done to ourselves. We need to like we've probably lost like a
Yeah, so
thousand years of higher being. So it's
yeah,
like
but
we
so
have
if we're
so much catching
undoing
up to
this
do.
shit, then this progress didn't even need to happen.
I mean, progress isn't linear. What I'm saying is like to be as elevated as a species as we should be, we're definitely far behind. So it's like it's not even like
Not really. I mean, we have fucking everything. And I've mentioned this before. Like, we have basically everything we could possibly ever need in the history of everything ever. Like, what more possibly could we need? Besides, like, certain cures for certain diseases, which I do, like you believe about the cancer being, like, held back. I wouldn't completely, like, take that out of the equation. I'd be willing to accept that that's could be true.
I have no idea. It just makes sense why we have so much advancement, but that's the one thing that they can't fix. Like it would make sense if that was the case. My point being, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've had the most shit out of everybody living so far, because we're living in the farthest part of time. Like, this is the farthest time has ever gone, is where we're going. I get that. My point is just like, there's certain things that have happened that we would be in a 10 time better spot than we are now. I'm not saying you have to virtually eliminate every sort of hardship in your life, because obviously that's not good, but there's more hardship and good in this life that we have right now. Even like I said last time, like, yeah, we have
Not
all
where
this
we live.
yeah, but it's the overabundance, and it's going to get worse. And yeah,
Wait,
like,
there's bad in that, yeah, and like the too much of the good and the comfy and everything.
but that's what
But
I'm
yeah, but
saying.
like,
We have the choice of too much abundance of stuff simultaneous with like the world getting more dangerous and shit getting more expensive. Like, it's not like, I mean, like, you look at, like, and I'm not even saying just in this country, I'm saying just in general. So it's like, if you tell people in Africa like this is the farthest that they're ever going to evolve, it's gonna be like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like, we're not the only country on this planet.
right, but it's like, where the fuck else would you rather live? Like, really?
I mean, I can think of a couple places I'd rather live, but that's not my point. My point is the potential, our human potential could be a lot greater than it is right now. Not our leisure of life or our abundance of stuff. Like, just us as conscious beings could be 10 times smarter, 10 times more efficient at doing things, have less hardship in our life, and have that balance to have a little bit of hardship, a little bit of pleasure, and just have a better sense of self. I feel like most people don't have it. In all the abundance of
But
stuff
like,
or lack of stuff, we don't have a good sense of self.
I mean, for people that do understand that, it's great. Like you and I. I mean,
But that's
I
my
think you and I are both doing great.
but that's
I
my point.
mean,
If more people had a good realization of self, it would be less, like, it'd be less bullshit for everyone, like, around you. There'd be less negativity. There'd be less fucking.
right, and that's why I'm like the only way to do that is to look to the past and just see the things that like your forefathers brought down to you,
You can
and
do it
like
however you
learn.
want. I'm saying we need to do more of it. I'm saying we're behind on that
Well,
aspect.
right. So if you're saying if that's progress, then yes,
Yeah,
then
it's all.
I guess we
That's what
do.
I'm
Yeah,
saying. Us as individuals, us as a society, and us as a conscious being should all never stop progressing. It should keep getting better and better.
right. Not necessarily like newer and more efficient equals better. Just
No, yeah,
like
that's
better and
that's
like
not what I'm
we're
saying.
just okay. So I got that confused.
Yeah,
My
no, I'm not
apologies.
saying like the better technology gets, we'll be better people. That's not my point. My point is, like,
Right.
maybe
Okay.
that stuff will be, yeah, yeah, obviously you want better technology, like, sure, like, that's awesome, like, prevent more
Yep. To
deaths,
kill
make you
each other
live
faster.
longer. Yeah, or that, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you had a better sense of self, you wouldn't feel the need to use technology to kill other people. That's my, you know what I mean? Like, your technology will actually be used for good, and it'll be enhancement for everything around you. You fucking don't have to worry about gas. Everything runs fucking smoothly. You don't have to worry about that kind of shit. You worry about other stuff in your life, so you have some hardship, but like all this stuff that just fucking drags you down every day and helps you, it's whatever stops you from being the best version of yourself, that part's gone. So you can deal with all the other
Yeah.
shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, everything needs to progress. We're way behind on every aspect. Society, individually, economically, technologically, like everything, we're behind.
Yeah. Like, it's like people. WYD.
The fuck?
Like, not a good look, bro.
Angels watching on the sidelines, bro. I beat you to it. Um, fucking
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like we're way behind than we should be. Even after thousands of years of advancement, this is the most leisure that we've ever lived in as a species. If you live here, because I'm sure in the medieval
Very
ages, if you're a
nice.
fucking rich in the palace, you didn't really have too much to worry about unless it's a disease and you died in your 40s. But your life was
I mean,
good
you
until then.
definitely did.
Your life was good until then, but it just fucking depends. Because like, you
I mean, you
can't
had
go
shit to
everywhere in the
worry
world and
about.
say this shit's working.
Yeah, but you had shit to worry about still.
Well, yeah, you always have stuff to worry about. That's never gonna go
You
away.
had more leisure, but yeah, like you had to be responsible and like, well, not always, but you know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you can't go to everywhere on this planet and be like, "Yep, that's working."
No, I mean, definitely not.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Like, you know.
go to like Somalia. Yeah, I don't think that's working, man. Like, go to Ukraine. I don't think that's working.
Yeah. So
It's
I don't
not a
know.
good look, bro. It's like I'm just looking at the war in Ukraine. I'm like, man, a kleptocratic state taking over a smaller, also kleptocratic state. Not a good look, bro.
I just like how people saw him as like a brave leader, and then everybody fucking hates him now.
Who, Zelensky?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
it's all
it's all
relative.
kleptocratic.
Your
That's all.
perspective is all
No,
relative.
it's no, it's all kleptocratic is what it is.
What is? I just keep thinking of kleptomania. So they're trying to steal everything. What is kleptocratic?
Kleptocratic is like it's a state in which everything is like bullshitted and everything is fake, and that like all the elections are like it's all collusion.
Everything's
It's
clandestine.
all right.
Yeah,
Everything's selected, and you have like the illusion of choice,
I see.
which a lot of people believe that we do already live in a kleptocratic state, which
Pretty
I can't
much.
really. I mean, yeah, I can't blame them,
Obviously, there's
right? I
levels, but
mean,
like, goddamn.
oh no, yeah. In terms of like the world, no, we're not that kleptocratic, but at the same time, it's like
So it's blatant.
yeah,
I mean, he's blatant, but not as like in your face blatant like that.
right. It's like, does the Illuminati exist? I mean,
Illuminati.
like, there's literally movies made by large corporations about large corporations about how evil large corporations are. So it's like they definitely know what they're doing, and it's
It's
like
because they know nobody will do
we
anything.
no
There's
right
nothing
because
nobody can do.
right exactly because it's like they're lying. We know they're lying. They know that we know they're lying. But yeah, because they're it's like, well, they can't do anything. So
Also, they know the power of acceptance. Like there's probably some marketing psychological thing. It's like something is bad, but the fact that everybody keeps complaining about it, you're just like, shut the fuck up. So it's like if somebody walked up to the streets and you're like, oh, look at Monsanto, look at what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, no shit, get over it. It's like I can't
mm.
do anything to stop it. Why bitch about it? So it's that like level of acceptance. They know that no one's gonna do anything about it because they can't.
Right, but that's when the government comes in and goes, we can fix
The
it, so
government's in
vote
on it.
for
They're not
us.
gonna fucking do shit.
No,
They
exactly, but that's
benefit
why
from
they
it.
right, exactly. So that's why they have these situations so that they can go, hey, vote for us, because we're against
Yeah.
this.
It's like, oh, we know how evil and corrupt these politicians are, how evil the tech companies are. It's like no one fucking does anything.
And I'm like,
It's
you are
acceptance.
literally what you're
Yeah,
saying
it's
that you
like I
can
said. It's like
do.
even in my brain, I have a general awareness of all that kind of shit. So it's like the people that bitch about, you eating meat or eating extorted or drinking extorted fucking Starbucks coffee or like wearing slave made shoes or complaining from their slave made phone. You know what I mean? Like there's fucking shit. Every time I hear that kind of stuff, it's just like shut the fuck up, because it's
Oh
unescapable.
yeah.
Unless you sit there and literally grow everything and make everything from the place that you around from the shit that's around your vicinity, like you're in it.
Right. Oh no, exactly. Because I'm like, unless you're like a monk or like you're with a group of monks that like live in the woods or the mountains and just make everything and provide everything for themselves, like you're part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you're totally
Like,
self-sustainable, I'll listen to you. But if not, then eat your fucking slop
absolutely
and watch your bullshit.
no one is fucking self-sustainable.
Well, that's my point. Like it's
Yeah, I mean, right. Like, exactly.
yeah, every single fucking aspect.
Right. But now, of course, everything is like, oh, I'm like, like I'm the better person because I purchase products that were well sourced. It's like no one gives a shit.
Or it's like the people that like always talk shit about like people driving SUVs or like large gas cars. Then like, oh yeah, where'd you get the battery for that Tesla? Huh? How'd they make that? Where'd they mine that?
Right. Right. It's like it's probably yeah, exactly the way it's mined, and it's like the materials required to make that electric cars are also really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
By the way,
and
I'm
also
all
like
for
what's up?
people listening. I'm all for fucking gas and coal's got to go. We got to find a way to make electric. We got to pull some ancient FBI stolen documents of Tesla and figure out how to make pylons because this shit's not sustainable forever. Like I'm all for it, but it's just you're a fucking hypocrite if you think you're better because you're doing renewable energy, quote unquote, because it's not. It's not efficient. It fucking still requires natural resources to run. Like we're not totally electric as a society.
Oh yeah, I mean if there was a way to do this without gas, that'd be great. But it's like as far as things are right now, I don't really see how there is.
Yeah, and they're like, we're gonna ban all car sales from gas by 2035 in states like California.
That's
Like, are you
not
out of your
gonna
fucking
happen.
mind?
Shut the hell up. Yeah, like no.
Like, I
That's
get that
like
gas or like electric cars are becoming more prominent. There's more charging stations. Your GPS will route you to the nearest one. Like, you can plan. I honestly think like the next, if they can figure out a way in 10 years, like if you like you can't like if you're going on a road trip, you can't sit and wait for 4 hours or however long to have your car charged. You need to be able to have a battery that you can switch out. Like you can, like you pay like $30 for a fucking thing of gas. You go pay $30 to swap out your battery. The old dead one that you gave them, they sit there and charge them, and then when it's done charging after a couple hours, they fucking sell it to the next person. So as long as you can switch out your batteries, it's not gonna ever replace cars that are running on gas or any sort of fucking hybrid thing.
right,
Like it's just not doable until they find a different way to do this shit. This plugging it into your
right,
house all night's not gonna work.
right. Yeah, because it's a lot of money. Because
Yeah.
exactly like a lot of money. The whole thing that really like I thought was just some fuck shit was like when people are complaining about the cost of gas, rightfully so,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, just buy an electric car, and it's like okay, the cheapest electric car is like 40 grand. Like
Yeah.
not many people can afford to finance that.
Until they make high speed bullet trains like they do in Asia, or they make an electric car that's 15 grand, no fucking way.
Those high speed bullet trains are pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, they go so fucking fast. And like, we have the
Yeah,
capability to build one. They just won't do it because they're fucking fucks.
they have that in France, I think, and you can commute. I saw this map from like way out to like the western part near like the coast, like to Paris. Like you can commute.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Like the technology's there. We can do just fucking they'd rather build another express lane you have to fucking pay for to make traffic worse than them build a fucking high speed rail. Like, could
Just
you imagine if they
pay for
didn't
the express lane.
if they did not spend like fucking my whole entire life fucking up 66, you could get to DC in like 20 minutes if they spent like 10 years making a high speed rail or however fucking like
Oh, all of this road work is just completely. I'm just like, okay, this is annoying. Like
it's
we,
unnecessary.
except for like the plumbing and stuff to move water, which is necessary. All of this, like building a new road and you gotta pave it. I'm like, you don't need to do that. Like the road was fine.
And they make it like worse. Like obviously, like the more people that move,
Yes,
the
exactly.
more traffic's gonna get fucked. So it's like you keep adding a lane, and more people are gonna keep coming. So it's like the fucking shit's not gonna be doable after 8 lanes. Like how much land you've already built townhouses on both sides. You can't fucking expand the road anymore. Like fuck.
Right. Like this is what I'm saying. Where I'm like, there's
God.
nothing else to do. We need a way to make money now. So like, it's gotta be something.
Yeah. So that
So and like if it's not broken, don't fix it. And they try to fix it, they didn't fucking fix it.
God,
Man,
that should be the fucking emblem from our state flag is a fucking express lane in a townhome. It's all this fucking state
uh,
cares about.
just the north of Virginia, just
And some dude vaping over top of it. Like, fucking hate this state. They've ruined
right
this
or like
beautiful state.
yeah,
But
Virginia's. I mean, actually, I mean, if you go to the historic districts of like the old cities, they're pretty cool.
it's
Like I
literally
love
the oldest
the
place in
houses. Like I
America.
said, yeah, it's cool. It's got a lot of culture and history. Fuck California with their claim to culture and history. Virginia has a
Yeah.
culture and history, man.
Yeah, since way before we even got here.
Yeah, like fuck Virginia. That's like 400 years.
I may be mistaken, but I believe that like right before we got here, like the eastern tribes, I'm blanking like the Paladin tribes. I'm blanking on that. There's a region from like pretty much almost the whole eastern seaboard, unlike the tribes that were probably gonna merge into one big city or one big tribe or one big culture if we had not gone to America at the time. I'm blanking on the fucking name. It was the Pocahontas's father was the chief of this whole massive fucking contrusion of tribes. So
Oh yeah,
I bel
I don't remember what the name of the tribe was, but
I think I mean it wasn't one tribe. It was a bunch of different tribes, but they spoke
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they spoke a dialect that they could all understand. It was like a region that like was governed. I think it was like different
It
provinces.
was like
It was
in
close.
it
It
was
was
like
close to thing to a country. I think
it was like in Massachusetts, I think, or something like that.
it's like from like Maine to like Georgia or some shit.
Right, like
It's a
like the
massive fucking
northeastern,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a massive
Yeah.
fucking area of land that, and I think it was the largest if I'm not mistaken. I may be totally fucking wrong. My Native American history is fuzzy, but our region is it was happening. And that's why it's a shame that most of it's been scattered now into just a couple tribe reserves. I think recently, what tribe was it called? There was one tribe that just got federally recognized a couple of years ago, and it was an original like tribe like around this area back in that time before everybody got scattered. But I'm blanking on the fucking name. It's making me mad. But anyway, yeah, I, it's it's criminal what they've done to this place. It really is, and
You mean like now or like originally?
now. Well, I mean, since I I don't know. Like you go back like even like 40, 50 years ago, the majority of it was still farmland.
Oh yeah, like I know people tell me like they grew up in Manassas like 50 years ago. It was like completely different.
Oh yeah, and it's just the byproduct of being close to DC and people industrializing, and this is where industrializing has really ruined it because
Yep.
it's definitely made the
Progress,
state
dude.
worse. Do you know that Disneyland was supposed
Progress.
to be in Bristow or somewhere around
Wait,
there?
are you shitting me?
Yeah, before it moved to Florida, it was supposed to be here.
That man, no, I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I don't remember why it didn't, but there was some political reason. I guess a lot of people complained or some shit didn't happen. But yeah, it was originally going to be here, I think.
No money, I guess, huh?
Something. Or actually, I don't remember the actual
Hey,
Disney World.
no, hey, I know the reason. It's
Why?
expensive, man.
Because it's fucking expensive. And
It's expensive, man.
I can't remember like if they already had Disney World in Florida and they were just trying to make another park here, but they just abandoned the idea, or if it was before they made the one in Florida and then they just moved it there. That's what I don't remember.
Wait, oh wait. So I know there's a Disney World in like Japan. There's one in Paris, but
Yeah.
like where there's some other ones, right? Like where are they?
I don't know. I know there's one in Japan and France, but besides that one, there's one in Florida and there's one in California. I don't know where the rest of them are.
Let me
There
see.
might be one
Let
in.
me
I
see.
think there's a couple in China actually. There might be two in China.
And it's like all the Chinese like knockoff stuff.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, China fucking
All
owns Disney,
Disney.
pretty much. They suck the Chinese dick so hard.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they always put like a Chinese character in the movie to like cater to Chinese audiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, if there's
Even
a. I always love like if there's a thing that they're trying to push agenda wise here, they don't do it in China because it's not culturally acceptable there. So you
all
know.
right, like the gay stuff.
Yeah,
Because like
exactly.
in China you're not allowed to show that, so then they just put in a clip for like a split second so they could just edit it out.
Or it's like they didn't want like the when the Star Wars movies came out, like they didn't want Finn on the posters.
Yes, that was the funniest shit.
So it's like, well,
He's like literally not even in the poster.
I saw a
It's like it's the same poster, and they just took him out.
got
I
him,
was like, you can't make this up.
fucking got him, and it makes it a lot
That's
more
not-
funny or a lot funnier because I saw a commercial from Disney the other day, and it was like they were showcasing all the racist cartoons that they made, and they were like, at Disney, we know that representation matters, and we know our cultural impact from the past. That's why we work so hard
Yeah,
to create these new
exactly.
stories. Now it's like, guys, come on. We know
Right, and
we don't believe it. We don't believe it.
I'm the same way with like Hollywood. I'm like, guys, you're not fooling
Yeah.
anybody.
Like
Like,
if you could get away with it, you'd still be making racist cartoons.
yeah, exactly. Like, if it made money, you'd definitely be making
Exactly.
racist cartoons.
So
Okay, so I looked it up. There's 6 Disney World slash land parks in the world. There's the one in California, Orlando, Paris, Tokyo, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. Yes, so you were right.
yeah,
I know Hong Kong is like kind of independent, but not really. It's kind of complicated. But
I think they're still owned by the British, but someone told me that they
no, or I don't know. I don't think they're part of the British anymore.
are they. Did that end?
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure that ended. I just think that they're like they have their own elections. I'm pretty sure, and like you can gamble and do other things that you can't do in mainland China. Kind of like Hong Kong. No, not Hong Kong. Kind of like Taiwan. but they're still part of like the state of China.
Hmm. I see.
And there's a lot, like a lot of the people on the respective places want to be independent, for good reason.
Apparently,
But
the British. It was handed over to the Chinese in '97. Apparently,
yeah, okay, yeah. And then Macau is the was the Portuguese colony that is
yeah.
adjacent to Hong Kong.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I want to go. Macau? Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
I want to go so bad. It is like bizarro land. It's like this like Portuguese mixed with like Chinese. It's like you'll have all of this like Chinese looking architecture, and then you'll just like turn around and you'll just see like just this like cathedral. It looks like totally out of place, but you know,
Yeah, there's a lot of places in China that I want to visit.
yeah. Like obviously I want to see the wall. Like I just want to walk on it. It's probably just really cool.
I wonder how long it would take to like do the whole thing. Like if you wanted to walk the whole wall.
How long is it? Like 20 something miles or something?
No,
No, it's
it's
more than
long.
that,
It's
right?
way longer than 20 miles. I don't know.
Right.
Let's.
Is it like the whole Mongolian border?
You know what? Let's find out. How
Yeah,
long
this is
is
why
the
we
Great
have the
Wall?
internet.
So
How long is your dong?
were the Chinese compensating when they made the Great Wall? Holy fuck, 13,171 miles, and you're like, it's only 20 miles.
Man, I was totally off. They're definitely compensating for
God
something.
damn, that's a big ass
Yeah,
wall.
but like, how long did that take to make? Like, dear God.
Let's see, how long did it take to make the Great Wall?
Fuck. God. Man.
How long did it take to build the Great Wall of China? 2,300 years.
Yeah, so I'm like, by the time you made it, it's like, aren't you kind of late? I know it was like to defend from like invasions, but it's like, wouldn't the invasions have already happened
Holy
like
fuck.
over 2,000 years? I'm like, what?
680 to 1681, 680 BC to 1681 AD. I
See,
just
that's like 10. That's 10,000 years.
That's hilarious that like in the 1600s they were building the fucking wall. They're finishing. Like we finally have finished this thing. Like who's attacking us now?
Right. So I'm just like, okay, they spent 10,000 years? Really?
Jesus,
Man. I mean,
2,500
if it
years.
I mean if it worked, it worked, but like,
Oh,
man.
fucking lord. That's probably the longest.
10
I don't know if the pyramids might have. How long did it take to build the pyramids? The wall
I
might
don't
have been
know.
the longest thing to take to build. How long did it take to build the pyramids?
Yeah, like what else could have put how long did it take to build the Jesus statue in Brazil? I'm looking that up right now.
Probably not that long. Probably only took 20 years, supposedly, to build the Great
The
Pyramid of Giza and 100,000 men. Air
Nice. Take to
quotes.
build Christ the Redeemer. Christ the Redeemer was built in 5 years. Began construction in 1926. It was finished, dedicated on October 12th, 1931.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
realize it was
cool.
that old.
Yeah, I thought it was
That was
I
like at
thought it
least
was
like
yeah, I thought it
60s
was
or 70s or something.
yeah, I thought it was newer for some reason. Wow, and it only cost $250,000 to make.
That's a lot of money
Oh
back then.
no, no. Okay, sorry. Yeah, adjusted for inflation, $3,800,000. Well, I mean, even so, that's not that much money,
Yeah, I feel like they spend billions of dollars to build shit now.
right? And it looks 10 times uglier.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but hey, it's efficient, and that's all that matters.
You ever go down to like places that are kind of outside DC, like Sterling, Falls Church, Arlington, that kind of area, or like those industrial parks? Like everything looks like a square, like a gray square, gray cube.
Oh, I go there all the time, yeah, for my job.
Dude, it's awful. I can imagine living up there being fucking hell.
Sterling's got some Manassas looking places that aren't that bad,
Yeah,
but like Arlington, ooh, man, that's bad.
I just hate it because it's like it was very poorly designed and they built it long ago, and so it's not meant to sustain this modern fucking footprint. So it irritates me how it's made up there. I hate there's like the turns are
It's
fucking
so, yeah,
atrocious. Like
it's
I hate
It's
those
so
like
not
smudge hits. Yeah,
timeless.
like it takes
It's
forever.
not timeless. Like it is timeful. Like I don't know how else to say.
Like if it takes you 10 minutes to go a different direction on a block, you're fucked up. Like I'm sorry, like it's just the way that it's just made is just awful.
Yeah, man,
But
bro. It's like investing in Jesus statues? Nah. Investing in like glass buildings that are so expensive to make and look completely hideous? Yeah.
but you can't put an office in a statue. You can try, but you can only fit like
Exactly. It's because it's like it's not efficient, so we can't get any practical use out of it.
it's a
So
fucking
it's
it's
bad.
a
It's
statue.
like
It's not meant to be a building.
yeah, but
You
it's
can't make an
like
efficient
uh,
statue.
no, but a lot of like elected officials look at those kind of things and like investments in like statues and churches and monuments, and they're like, no, this could go to the poor. It's like, no, but we also need like a culture, you know, and like we also need beauty in our society and things to look up to.
It's like guys, we need stuff for aliens to knock down when they come for dramatic
Right, so that
effect.
it right exactly, so it looks cool in a movie.
Exactly.
So that it looks cool in like Call of Duty, like when they knock down the Eiffel Tower.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, it was eerie when did we talk about the first. I can't remember. I think it was the What Modern Warfare was it where the Russians like invaded DC and you had to go like shoot your way to get to some checkpoint or something.
It's like two, I think.
Was that Modern Warfare 2?
I think three is the one with the Russians, right? Or no, all of them with the Russians. But like, no, three is the one where World War Three starts. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
And
so
then two is the one where yeah, no, where you're in DC. Yeah.
okay, yeah, so whatever that one was pretty eerie. Like with the
Yeah.
like from the helicopter crash and like the Washington Monument's been bombed and like there's people gunning down the Capitol and the White House and shit.
You know that's why I still kind of like Call of Duty because it's cool. I
Yeah,
like seeing those real world things like those kind of like fantasies played out. It's pretty cool.
yeah. People are like, oh, that'll never happen. You can. It's impossible to invade the homeland. Like, we'll see.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
Yeah, we'll see.
What is not possible is for some pink haired protester to you know to break into the White House. That's never gonna happen.
Dude, you know how many people have fucking jumped the gate and gotten to the White House?
Yeah, but they get shut down, don't they?
Not all of them. Some people have made it
And they've
inside.
like wait. Do you know the Family Guy where he's like, "Yeah, it's okay, Chris. You could lie. I've lied a few times." And it's like the cutaway, and he's like in the Uber. It's like, so where are you going, sir? Home. Where's home? The White House. Okay. And he like drives him over there. And he gets out of the car. Yeah, so you already dropped me off. You can go ahead. He's like, no, I need to make sure you get inside. Nah, he's I already hear it. No, the policy is that I need to make sure you get inside safely. He's like, oh, all right, and then he like walks up, and like knocks on the door, and the guy opens it, and it's like a silhouette, and it's like, and he's like looking back and forth, explaining the situation, and everything, and then like you just see like the guy at the door, he's just like, all right, he brings Peter inside.
Yeah, pretty much just that easy.
Yeah.
Because there was like, yo, they got snipers on there. They'll fucking blast you. There's a trap door that you'll run on the lawn. You get cut into, or like they'll stick the dogs
Yeah,
on you.
but
It's like,
they
what the
do.
fuck? Dude,
They
people have
do
gotten
have.
inside. Like people have like legitimately jumped the lawn and have made it at least to the property before they're tackled. Like I don't think people have died.
Yeah, but you face fucking a lot of legal shit for that.
Well, yeah, no shit, but it's easy to physically get in there. All I had to do was Allahu Akbar one time, and then there you go.
And then you get gunned down.
Maybe that, or they just don't shoot people that are not perceived to be armed. So, like, if it's just a lunatic jumping the fence, but he has nothing on him, then maybe they just wait for they get in there to tackle him. I don't fucking know. But I don't.
Maybe that's how it
A lot of
works.
people have shot themselves in front of the Congress building or in front of the White House, but
Yeah.
obviously it's not difficult to get in if there's a ton of people, as we've seen.
Well, that's the capital.
Yeah, which is a
I
pretty.
was talking about the White House.
Yeah, I know, but they're still both pretty big, important federal buildings, and they're both severe
No,
crimes
I
to
mean,
trespass on, as you can see. If you go on like
what
the
I yeah yeah, but I'm just like what I want to fucking know about that January 6th thing is I'm just like why did all of the fucking people who worked there leave 2 hours early? Then like it happened. It's not because like they knew it was gonna happen or anything
who fucking
like
knows?
that shit.
I just think it was a
Yeah, I'm
waste.
just
Like,
like
why would you break into the Capitol and just take selfies?
yeah, I mean because I was so confused by that. I was just like I was just initially I was like my first reaction I was like is this even like real? I was like what?
It was entertaining as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I hope something like that happens again.
It was. Yeah, no, I remember your take about how like you think that if they did that, we would be in a better position. Honestly, I mean, like the overthrow of this fucking government
Could you
kind of would have been
imagine
satisfying.
if at least like two of them had fucking guns and they just fucking sprayed everybody in there? I don't know if they evacuated. I can't remember if they evacuated or they locked them down in a room. I'm sure they had some sort of protocol. Nothing really major would have happened. I feel like they just
Yeah.
would have like fought the cops outside until the military came or the National Guard. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like there was no like real avert danger. Obviously, they arrested somebody
Right,
that
like they
had like
weren't doing anything.
well
They were
there
like you said, they would just sit like in there taking selfies. So I was just like, "What?"
well there were
And
a
like you
couple
lit
of
it.
people that had like zip ties and they had like pipe bombs and shit, but those people got arrested and they took them like
Yeah.
I don't know that there's so much fucking it's like with anything now. So it's like one person, like one side says this, the other side says this. Who fucking knows? I wasn't there. Like it's all bullshit. It's all stupid. It's just entertaining to look at. I could give
Either
a
way, I'm
fuck if
just
they broke into it or they got let in. I could give a fuck if every congressman died in there or every fucking Trump supporter died in there. I don't give a shit. Let them all die. Who
right.
gives a fuck?
Right.
It's less dumb,
Oh yeah.
less stupid on our planet. Who cares? But
Yeah,
regardless,
true.
it's
Good
funny as
point.
fuck. Especially the
Oh
dude with
yeah.
the
I mean,
bearskin hat.
oh, that's like the number one guy.
Or like the people that never thought they'd be arrested even though their face was fucking visible. And so like if you go on the FBI's most wanted website, it's hundreds of photos of people that they like have identified and are still trying to identify. Like they're like, oh, they can't like prosecute everybody. They're fucking trying. Like they're really trying. It's like,
Man.
hey, maybe you can't just like okay, if you're being let into a building, like you probably still shouldn't like break a window or put your foot on Pelosi's desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just so
Like what the
confused. I was like,
fuck?
why did they literally let him in? I was like,
My guess is like
what?
they felt that it was easier to control the crowd by like I suppose like getting the National Guard although I say that one person did get shot and killed, like the bitch that tried to climb through the window and got fucking sprayed with the hollow point by the Secret Service or whoever the fuck was in there.
Oh yeah, I guess they're saying like if they were all inside, they're all inside.
Yeah, and they could like
Yeah,
trap them in there and then evacuate the people and then flush them out. Like sure, but I mean one person did die, so
only one. Wait, is that the only person to die on the Capitol?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, like I think that was the first and only person.
Might have been. Did we talk about that last time?
Man, I think we might have. I don't remember,
I
but
think so,
oh
but
fuck,
it might.
it's it's getting late. I need to go to bed
Oh shit. So let
because
it
I gotta
go.
work tomorrow. Unlike you, commies. You
Get a job
freaking
and get the
commies,
dye out of your hair.
and shave your beard.
Shave your beard, grow taller, lose weight. Fuck
I
bitches,
still
get
think
money.
that's hilarious though that like having a beard was like associated with communism.
Was it?
Oh yeah, for like in the '60s, it was totally associated with being a communist.
It's probably because of Karl Marx and his social studies beard.
Yeah, it was him and like John Lennon and like the whole like, well, because the style at the time was very much being clean shaven. So the whole point of it was just like being like '60s like rebellious bohemian. The whole point of it was just being not the norm.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, yeah, let's just like, how do you counter not having beards? Having beards.
Fucking
Like
beards.
Che Guevara and Fidel Castro always had beards, and like that inspired a lot of that too.
It's crazy is that all it takes sometimes to demonize just
Right?
one
I mean, it's
feature.
just it's just some dude who like had that as his feature, maybe because he just thought it looked cool, and then everyone's like, no, that's like that is like the symbol of like the ideology. All right, so I guess I'm communist because I have a beard. I mean, it's not a full beard, so I guess I'm not a full communist
You're more of a democratic socialist.
because of like the facial hair I have.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I see. Definitely, I'm a social democrat.
Oh
And then
shit.
what are you? You're communist.
I don't vote.
No, I mean based on your beard.
No, I know. Well, I'm not
Oh no,
like
Matt's a communist.
full blown.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. If you're a democratic socialist, I guess I'll be a Green Party person.
Okay.
Green New Deal. I'll take your money
Right.
and I'll tell you I'll do something with it, but nothing will change.
Right. I saw this great meme from Trad West. It was like it was like the far left person. It was like I support the current thing. It was like
Yeah.
far right person. It's like I oppose the current thing. Blah. And then it was like a really fat dude, and then it was like the Giga Chad like on the farm with like a fedora, and he's like I don't care about the current thing.
I
And
love that meme.
he's like wearing his like cross or it's just woo. I'm like I'm all for that. Or have you seen the one where it's like far left, far right, far Ming?
Yeah.
That's great.
I love fucking political shitposts. They're my favorite.
Yeah, I gotta send you some of these from Trad West,
Feel free, bro.
and Orthodox Meme Squad. They're pretty dank. I, I saw this one where it was like the same Giga Chad dude from the other memes I said, and it was like, yes, I support LGBT, and it was like lifting for God and benching 225.
You should wear that as a shirt. The
Honestly, dude,
balls.
I'm thinking about it.
Oh god, don't
I
don't be a graphic shirt, dude. Please.
no, you
I
told me to
will
like
not
get
allow you in our store.
you told me to get the shirt where it says like child porn, and then like put the X through it, like the cancel sign, like that it child porn. Not a good look, bro.
I oppose the current child laws.
Oh man,
Oh shit. Yeah,
man.
don't be a graphic tee snob.
Oh, dude, I meant to say, dude, on the way to when I went to the retreat, when we went like far west to Virginia, towards West Virginia, like Winchester, I saw this sign, like this billboard, and it said, "Don't be that guy. Sexual assault is a very serious crime."
Don't be that guy.
Yes,
Like
that's
you're just
what it
sitting there like,
said.
I wonder if I should sexually assault somebody. No, don't be that guy.
Yep, like
Like
that sign's gonna stop.
who are they talking to? Like people that like say, "Oh fuck, I guess I was a little rapey back there. I should back off." Like who? Don't be that guy.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
cave into your carnal instinct without consent.
Right.
God.
All right. Well, that's a fun note to leave at because I need to wake up tomorrow.
Have a really safe and non-rapey dream.
I hope so. Yeah. All right.
Oh shit. See ya, bruh.
All right. See you, bro. This is a good one. Bye.
Yeah.